Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the Dirty Bird. Happy Wednesday, and thank you for downloading and subscribing to the Sit Down Marks podcast. Episode 21 is on the way. But first, we got a really awesome interview with the 2019 Scenic City Invitational winner, Daniel Makabe. Can he be the first wrestler to ever win two Scenic City Invitationals? Well, it's going on this weekend, so we got a chance to talk to Daniel about his chances coming up. So check out the interview and stay tuned right after the episode. You know, I got my guys AJ and Primo. We're going to bring you an awesome podcast and everything going on in the world of wrestling. Man, is it hot right now. Stay tuned right after the interview. Here it is, the interview with Daniel Makabe. Welcome, everybody, to Sit Down Marks. Man, we got a really fun guest here today on the show. I am super, super pumped, man. I haven't gotten to see this guy wrestle live since 2019. Primo, man, you excited for Daniel Makabe tonight,
Extremely excited, extremely grateful. Thank you so much, Daniel, for coming on the show. We cannot thank you enough.
No, I mean, thank you guys for inviting me. And, obviously we're all here to talk about big weekend upcoming, and I'm stoked to be along with you guys previewing it and just shooting as it is, you know.
That's right, man. Coming up this weekend is a super huge weekend for wrestling in the Southeast. You're a very popular man in Chattanooga, Tennessee. From when I saw you win the 2019 Scenic City Invitational. So we're going to talk a lot about that night. We're going to talk about what's coming up here. And as this weekend, as you got Adam Priest in the first round, we're going to talk about a possible AC Mack rematch here that could possibly blow the roof off if these guys lock up here again. So, but to get us started, Daniel, I want to talk, man. So how was your quarantine, man? What did you do? How did you stay up on your wrestling? Or how locked down were you guys up there in British Columbia?
You know what? I mean, I guess felt like a lifetime for all of us, right? But it's really felt like a couple lifetimes up here in BC. So, you know, it was kind of a thing where things were initially not as locked down as they were in the United States. And then it kind of flipped the switch. And when you guys were kind of getting back into the swing of things, we were still under a pretty strong lockdown. So, you know, I had, I was actually in Europe when things all kind of locked down. I was doing some shows over there. And then, so that was in, the second week of March of 2020, came home and then I didn't get to wrestle again until October of 2020.
Wow.
And, I had that one match with Lee Moriarty for Southern Underground Pro in Indiana, which was, that was a big one for me. And then, in the interim, there was some training allowed here in British Columbia. There's a really amazing wrestling school called Lionsgate that I attend. It's run by some great trainers and some great pro wrestlers. And they, to do with provincial laws, they had to shut down on November 2nd of 2020. And they did not open up again until this past June. Like a month ago. So no training here in British Columbia for, what was that? Like 7 months where we not allowed to train. And, like the best of us, I put on the COVID 15 or 20 or whatever we all did. So the last couple months leading up to SCI has really been me working that off and getting back to a weight that I'm comfortable at and getting back to a physical fitness that I'm comfortable at. I had a couple matches this past April in Florida as a part of WrestleMania weekend. And full admission, I wasn't really happy with my performances there. I really wasn't happy with where my fitness was at. Okay. And so I didn't want to make the same mistake twice. So the last 3 months, it's all been about getting back in ring shape and 3 matches in 2 nights at a minimum if you want to win the thing. And, that last one's a 4-way. And so, I don't want to be caught, huffing and puffing and sucking wind, against a guy like Adam Priest or
Right.
maybe AC Mack or maybe a rematch with Eric Royal or who knows. Right. So
Sure.
that's kind of been my life, the last 3 months. It's been a lot of, working the 9 to 5 and then going to the gym and trying to, and I'm happy to say that, I'm not someone who posts a lot of gym selfies or anything like that, but in the last couple of months, I've lost 20 pounds and,
Nice.
and things are appearing to look good, but we're in the home stretch now. So hopefully things are good this weekend.
Yeah. So this weekend is kind of going to be the pinnacle of you, getting back into wrestling shape and ability, I guess, after the long layoff. And it's crazy that, it's SCI, which you are defending champion. So, not only that of everything that's happened, Daniel, you're coming in with a lot of pressure as defending champ. Nobody's ever repeated winners of this tournament. You've heard this already. I know you have.
I've heard this. No one's ever done it, and I want to be. I want to be the first guy to do it. It is. It's a big ask to come back after a layoff like that and have 3 matches in 2 nights, and not only
different
that,
venue
like
this year too, different venue.
But we'll go into that. I think that venue. I think that plays to my strength. I like the look of that venue. I'm used to. I really made my name for a promotion in Seattle called 3-2-1 Battle that didn't survive the pandemic, is no longer with us.
I haven't heard that. Oh wow.
For various reasons we don't have to go into. There was
Sure.
some of it is to do with the building, some of it's to do with management. So
sure.
But that was a very intimate building, and that's really where I got a lot of my licks in and really built up my reputation as someone who I think excels in a small room. And I really feed on the energy of people right there in your face, and people who can see, they're right up close and personal. They can see if you make a mistake, but they can also see if you're setting a trap for someone. Maybe they're going to see it before your opponent sees it, So that's something as someone who really excels in technical, my technical ability. I think it really plays well in a room like that. I think it's way more interesting to watch a Daniel Makabe match in a room like that. I think it's more interesting to have a Daniel Makabe match in a room like that.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to it. But first things first, it's not SCI, but to kick things off, TWE the night before, I'm wrestling Damian Tangra. And I'm not that I'm overlooking them, because the big news is SCI, but I'm happy that I get something in to get a repetition and see kind of where I'm at before the next night, Adam Priest, and it's off to the races, right?
Yeah, and that's when the real test begins. So let's talk about you remember I remember you announced on Twitter and possibly some other social medias today, you got some new shirts out.
Yes,
and these shirts mimic the shirt that you had on the night that you won the 2019 SCI.
Absolutely.
So that is really cool, man. I'm loving that. So what's the story real quick of why you wear the football jerseys and
so I mean, like the soccer jerseys, football jerseys, depending where you're from, what you call it, it started as something, I'm not going to mince words. I'm not the most athletic looking guy. I'm not going to win a body contest, but for me, what's important is what you do between the ropes, in the ring, between bell to bell. I'm not gonna, there's obviously some amazing looking athletes out there. I'm trying to work on that, but it's not my strong suit. And so the soccer jersey is a way for me it's almost like an artistic expression for, things, representing, clubs that mean a lot to me, or representing countries that, that I might have an affinity for. But it's also a way for me to still have an athletic look without, because I'm not going to necessarily look, as athletic next to someone if I'm trying to show off my physique, because it's not going to be comparable to some of the guys I'm going to be in there with, right? Yeah. And so it was just a spin on something. I didn't want to be. There's lots of wrestlers out there that have their own vibe, and for me, it just wasn't working as a guy wearing a black T-shirt and shorts. So there's other guys who can pull that off. Your brawling type guys, or someone who looks like a real ass kicker, but that's not me. So, I
No,
got to
but you're making guys like that tap out though.
that's the thing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the best Daniel Makabe that I can be. I'm going to be the
Right.
best me that I can be. And so it's unique as well. And
it is.
and something
it
that's
caught my eye because I am a soccer football fan, depending on where you're from. And, I always kind of like, oh, what jersey's Daniel?
What's he wearing this time?
Like I want to see, like I've seen Roma, like it's awesome.
And something that's worked in, it's been an amazing byproduct of it is, when I come over to Europe, the few times that I was able to do so pre-pandemic, I've got people from over there who are really diehards when it comes to their football. So you might wear
the wrong jersey.
Well, that has been me. That has actually happened.
Oh, I'm sure they're passionate.
But I've probably had 6 or 7 jerseys that have been gifted to me by fans who want me to wear, their like hometown clubs. And we're talking some like small clubs in Germany, some smaller clubs in England,
obscure
like
teams,
teams and like teams I might have a cursory knowledge of, but like it's almost led me to like, okay, I'm going to check out this team. I want to represent, for, if these fans are willing to invest in me, I want to invest in them, so
sure.
Like, don't come to SCI and bring me like a Liverpool kit or a Manchester City kit or any like top flight EPL team, because it's very apparent that I'm a Chelsea supporter and I'm not going to wear any other team there.
You got to draw the line somewhere.
I got some lines, right?
I get it.
But I mean, if you you want to go out of your way to get me, that's it. They're all customized with my name and number on them too. Like that means the world to me. If someone wants to give me a gift like that, that's
you
so
had the number
cool.
9 on that night. I remember that one. So.
Number 9's my 9, lucky number 9. I was born on April 9th, which is the 99th day of the year. And 9 is, it's historically it's a striker number. It's what a striker wears on a soccer team, and so it's an important number in soccer, and that's
I like
why
that angle.
That's why I always wear number 9. So yeah, and the fact that I could tie into my merchandise with the yellow shirts, reminiscent of the yellow Belgium jersey I wore that night when I won SCI back in 2019, with the added little star above the crest, because that's what a championship team does. They put the star above the crest.
Yes.
Right. So I thought that was a nice little touch. And hopefully I can come back next year and I'll have 2 stars up there for winning this year's tournament as well. But we'll see. Well, I don't want to get too ahead of myself.
No, we're going to talk about that, man. Before we get to that, man, Primo's got some fun questions for you, Daniel. All right, Primo, if you're ready, man, line them up here, man. This should be fun.
Yes, sir. I am ready. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I was just enjoying listening to Daniel talk about that. That was really interesting. Daniel, let's go outside the ring here with these questions. Okay.
Absolutely.
Real quick. Anybody that goes and clicks on your Twitter will automatically see that you're into music. So when did you first learn to play guitar?
That's kind of an interesting story. So like I started playing guitar when I was like 11 years old. I had a friend in elementary school who was playing guitar, and I ended up going to the same guitar teacher that he did. And like all like 11, 12, 13-year-olds, you want to be good at something immediately. And I didn't have the chops right off the get-go, and I didn't have the real passion to, be the type who sits down and practices hours a day and that sort of thing. And so I played a little bit, from age 11 to maybe 14, but really didn't have the passion. And then it was in my early 20s, I had a pretty substantial back injury that actually took me away from wrestling for a couple of years.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
And so I needed something, wrestling, obviously it's a physical outlet for me, but it's also a major creative outlet for me. And so I needed something to kind of fill that void as a creative outlet in my life. And then admittedly, I was trying to impress a girl, as one does with a guitar. And
what else is there to do with
and
it?
So I just picked it back up and really kind of took to it like a fish to water. And that was, well over 20 years ago, 10 years ago. I'm not that old. I'm older than I look, but I'm not that old. And yeah, it's just something that has become a real passion of mine. And outside of wrestling, I play in numerous bands, and I, it's sometimes hard to juggle the schedule between, if your band wants to play a gig and I got a booking somewhere. So, that's a little bit tough, but I have been lucky to play some amazing shows with some amazing people, a couple really cool tours I've gone on, and something I'm very passionate about now. So.
That is really cool, man. Yeah, and it never fails that there's always a girl involved when it comes to that guitar.
Every time.
Are there any other instruments that you or anything musically that you might be into besides guitar?
Oh, I mean, when it comes to actually playing them, I used to be able to fake my way on the drums a bit, but I've got good rhythm, but I really don't have any kind of actual training on it.
Okay.
I used to be a much better singer than I am now. I could fake it. I'll post some videos of me, playing acoustic guitar on my YouTube channel, and there was kind of a running back and forth between me and Alex Shelley, where we were posting covers and challenging one another, kind of building up to whenever the inevitable match happens between the two of us. Hopefully, sometime in the coming year or so. But I'm not that good of a singer anymore. I just kind of fake it. So otherwise, musically, I mean, I'm an avid record collector. I've got a pretty sizable vinyl collection. Prior to that, as a kid, I was a pretty avid CD buyer, and so there's no shortage of music in this household. That's for sure.
That is awesome. That is really cool, man. Well, that answers my next question, which was going to be, are there any lesser known skills or hobbies that you're into besides music and wrestling?
I mean, like record collecting, sure. You know what? I used to be a pretty avid hiker, and I'm lucky that I live in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. I'm just outside Vancouver, British Columbia, and for my money, it's the most beautiful place on earth. And we've got some amazing area up there. Amazing scenery, amazing, just naturally beautiful part of the world. And I don't have to go very far to get off the beaten path. And there's some amazing trails here. Some of them more difficult than others, depending on how I'm feeling. I might challenge myself and do something a little bit more technical or with more of an incline to it. Or maybe I'm just feeling, something leisurely just to get out and be with nature, But I used to hike a lot when I wasn't having so many bookings on the weekends. But as that schedule started to pick up, a lot of the times I'm trying to recover from wrestling. We put our bodies through a lot, and so I don't always make as much time for hiking as I used to. That's kind of been a nice byproduct of the pandemic, is I've been able to get out a little bit more and enjoy nature, because I haven't had my focus on wrestling. I've been able to occupy my time but like recently, it was our national holiday here, Canada Day, and I did this beautiful place called Joffrey Lakes here in British Columbia. Look it up if you ever want to see the clearest, bluest water you've ever seen in your life. Went hiking there. It's about 3 hours outside of Vancouver. And yeah, that was a recent hike I went on. That was amazing. That I had only previously done once before, about 5-6 years ago. So
super cool.
That's really cool, man. Really awesome. If somebody were to come up to you, Daniel, and want to write a biography about you, what would the title be?
Oh God. Oh, interesting. I mean, they'd probably just call it Wrestling Genius, because that would be the marketable, like, sellable title, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, it's complicated. I've
only heard of one other wrestler in history being called the Wrestling Genius. You're one of two, I believe.
Are we talking Chris Hero? Is that the other one we're throwing around? Because he uses that moniker too nowadays. So
he does use them nowadays. I was thinking a little bit older. Wasn't Lanny Poffo the Wrestling Genius too?
Well, he was the genius.
The genius. I guess is close.
I don't know if he was. Yeah. I mean, he was the genius who wrestled, but yeah. He's better with words than I am. But what would my autobiography called? I don't know. Let's just go with Wrestling Genius.
Cattle mutilation.
I love it.
Yeah. That's been the story of my life the last couple of years. Man. Once that thing gets locked on, they're not getting out. So
that's right. AC Mac, he can tell you.
He can tell you, and I'm hoping he gets to tell you about it again this coming weekend. Yeah,
I'd love to see it.
Daniel, what is your dream vacation?
Oh, man, you know what? I don't know if either of these count as vacation, but I've been really lucky that I've been able to see it. A lot of the world. I've been to quite a few countries in Europe. I was able to go to Cuba and actually play shows with my band there, and it's a beautiful country. Been all over the United States. There's a lot of Canada that I actually haven't seen, because it's such a massive country. But the two places that are on the top of the list, and I could say they'd be dream vacations, but if I was being honest, they're dream places I would like to work. and that's Japan and Mexico. Both
Cool.
have such histories when it comes to wrestling,
yes.
and there's such integral parts of the culture there. I would love to be a tourist, and if the day comes that I don't get to wrestle in either country, I will most definitely go and experience some of the culture and some of the nature, and of course I'll take in some wrestling shows. But I'm the part of me that, that wants to go to those countries. I want to wrestle in those countries first and foremost. So if I get those chances, I'm going to take them. But if not, then they'll make for nice vacations in the future. So
Awesome. Well, speaking of culture of other countries, and whether it's local or far away, what are some of your favorite foods?
Favorite foods. So I'm a vegetarian. I have been for about 5-6 years now. I find there's certain cultures that really they do vegetarian better than others, right? So a lot of them, ones that are really meat centric. I love Italian food, but a lot of Italian foods, really got a lot of meat going on, right? So I eat a lot of Mexican food. They do vegetarian really well. The other thing that I love that's a little off the beaten path is Lebanese food. And there's some really amazing Lebanese restaurants here in Vancouver that I hit up all the time. And they do, a lot of them, they do vegetarian and vegan real easy. So yeah, if it came down to it, those would be my big two, with our Lebanese and Mexican food. And I'm kind of an avid coffee drinker as well. That, I don't know if that counts as food and drink, but I'm a coffee guy as well. So
I'm right there with you, man.
Pacific Northwest, you got to have coffee, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's bougie coffee stands on most corners in Vancouver and Seattle and Portland, and I'm all about it. So
All right, final question outside the ring here. If you could give your 10-year-old self some advice, what would it be?
Oh man,
good question.
That's it. That's really good. Like 10-year-old. So here's 10-year-old me, even 20-year-old me, 30-year-old me. I never imagined, the things that I would get to do and see on somebody else's dime. The fact that I've gotten to travel the world and met such amazing fans and people who have become friends and, seen some amazing places and wrestled. My first wrestling show I ever saw was WrestleMania 7. I was 6 years old and I was instantly captivated by it. And, to think a couple years later, if I'm 10 years old, to think, hey, if you keep this up and you have this passion and, you might wane from it, from time to time, but if you just stick with it, some seriously amazing things are going to happen to you. There's no way I would believe that any of this would be possible. And the fact that it is I don't even know what to say. It leaves me speechless sometimes. Right. It's I mean,
great
stick with it and be passionate. I'm passionate about wrestling. I'm passionate about music, and don't just go through life just kind of, aimlessly. Find things that you love, and regardless of whether you can do them for a career, just do them. That's what's important. Have things that you're passionate about and just do them.
Nice.
Perfect. I love that.
Great answer.
All right, Dirty, go ahead, man. What you got here?
All right, so Daniel, as we're here to talk about this weekend, but first of all, I want to talk about the Sit Down Marks podcast here. We are the official sponsor of your first round match with Adam Priest. We are super honored to be able to, in conjunction with SCI, be able to sponsor your match. So we are super pumped, man. Thank you for allowing us to be able to do that. And just super excited to what this weekend's going to bring.
I mean, honestly, I got to be thanking you guys, because does that mean you're paying the winner's purse when I tap out Adam Priest in the middle of the ring? Is that how that works? Is it you're the sponsors? So I thank you guys for putting money in my pocket when I make Adam Priest say uncle. That sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good to me. I don't know.
Yeah. You can spin that however you want.
That's the way I chose to spin it. So that's what we're going with. So.
All right. So I want to get some small little notes here from you real quick. Let's rewind, Daniel, back to the 2019 SCI tournament. You ended up beating AC Mac for the championship. A lot of things went down. You had some legendary matches. My favorite was the first round match against Tony Deppen. I swear you guys cleaned out the place. It was probably the match of the weekend for me. It had us out of our chairs going nuts the whole match. You had a great match with Slim J on your way to the finals. So we get to the finals. You're on your way to the ring. AC Mack hits you with the belts on the side, the legendary bloody ear from that tournament. Real quick, what was your thoughts about that when it happened? Did you think that your tournament was over? What was going through your mind?
I mean, honestly, I literally went to the back and spent like the entire duration. When you weren't seeing me in front of the crowd that evening, I had, I was lucky that there was some people with some medical training who were just doing what they can to bandage, butterfly that ear, try to close it up, try to get my senses back about me. Because that was as real gets, man. And that ear was split wide open. And even to the point that the following weekend, I had another big weekend of shows in Toronto, and the ear had basically sealed up, and literally 30 seconds into my first match back after, it split wide open right again. So, that ear was troublesome, more so than I expected it to be. And so it was just seal this thing up as best as we can, and let's get out there, because we're not going to let this guy win it like this. And thankfully I had Chattanooga people behind me, which still is amazing. Like,
you were a firstborn son that weekend, dude. Like,
first time I'd ever stepped foot in that city. Had wrestled in Nashville before for SUP. And had really good experiences in the South. I was going to say Southeast. I've always had a great time there. I love the people there, and some of my biggest champions, people who have really, stuck their neck out for me and made it so that I've had the opportunities that I have been in the Southeast and really helped put my name on the map. And so, I'm forever grateful to those guys. But yeah, I wasn't expecting that kind of reaction when I came back out, and the ring being surrounded by everyone. When the trophy is presented to me,
I was one of those guys slapping the mat, going crazy.
I appreciate it, man. That was.
I got video of it all. You came back out. AC Mack was celebrating. He already had the microphone yelling into it, and that he had won. Daniel comes out, cattle mutilation. It's over. He taps out. Place goes nuts, man. You delivered an awesome speech. You were gracious and nice enough to take a picture with me before you went to the back after the match. So thank you again. You didn't know me from anybody before this, so that was really cool of you.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, the fact that there's anyone out there who wants to get their picture taken with me, of course, like, I'm going to take the time to, if you want a picture or you want an autograph or you just want to shake my hand or whatever, like, of course I've got time for people. If you got the time to support me, be it, cheering for my match or buying a t-shirt or following me on social media or whatever you do, I am so above appreciative for that. So and I mean, the real cool thing that night was, I'm in the back and they're taking some pictures of me and the trophy. And then they said, no, you got to come back out. You got to come back out for a photo. And they had like the entire bleachers just filled.
Everybody was just sitting there waiting for
the big picture. Like,
it was great. Yeah,
I know. I didn't know I was keeping everybody waiting, but that that was so cool. That whole weekend was so cool. Busted ear or not, like, it's all worth it in the end. When things are all said and done, and I'm no longer wrestling, and I'm an old man, I'm going to be able to look back on that weekend as one of the highlights of my life for sure.
You got that big trophy too, man, to always remember too.
I'm going to use this as a platform just to say that SCI told me that they were going to mail me that trophy, and they still to this date have not. So
all right, I'll tag them.
We're going to call them out. We're going to call them out. It's not cheap. I'm sure it's not cheap to ship that trophy all the way up here to Vancouver, but I want that trophy.
Right. Yeah. Well, they might be waiting to give it to you this weekend.
I was going to say,
they're going to give you two. They're going to have to hire a long distance courier because they're going to have to ship a pallet with two trophies on it. It's not going to just be UPS or someone in a little box now. It's going to be an LTL courier. Yeah. All right. Well, let's fast forward to this weekend, man. There was no tournament last year, so you get to come back and defend. All we know is your first round match that sponsored by the Sit Down Marks podcast.
Thank you again.
Everywhere, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcast, against Adam Priest. So what are we thinking here? This is a tough first round match for you, man. What are we thinking? And what's the game plan without telling us too much?
I mean, here's the thing. He's really good, and he's someone who's kind of bubbled up in the last year or so, kind of in COVID. He's someone who has made his name in New South and in Action and a little bit in SUP, the one weekend of shows that they ran. And I'm impressed, full admission. I'm very impressed. He reminds me of someone super intense, like a Dynamite Kid or someone like that, who maybe looks a little short in stature, but super well put together, looks really strong. I'm going to find out firsthand how strong he is. The one thing I'll say is he's coming off an injury. He was injured at the hands of Matt Makowski over WrestleMania weekend in Florida on the Action Have Fun Be Sad show that I happened to be on. And, he's come back. He's had a couple matches, but who's to say if the injury is back at 100%? Who's to say it's, I believe it was an arm. I believe I'm someone who's maybe known for targeting arms or other limbs, and
you have been known to do that.
Picking them apart, and I like to fight fair. I'm not gonna, necessarily take advantage of a guy's weak limb, but if you're gonna present me with an opening, who's to say that I'm not gonna take it?
Right.
I want to win this tournament as badly, maybe more so than anyone else in the field. I want to be the first guy to repeat. First two-time SCI champion ever, back-to-back years for all intents and purposes, because there was no 2020 tournament, although I was announced for that tournament when it first was announced earlier in 2020. But yeah, so I'm not looking past him whatsoever. I think it's going to be a really hard-fought match. I think he's going to make me work. I think, he's muscular, but he's a little smaller in stature. I think he might have a bigger gas tank than I do, but I'm gonna, one thing I do better than a lot of people is I make people work, and I grind people out on the mat. And it's one thing to, running around, having the cardio to be running circles around someone, but there's another kind of cardio, and that's getting someone off of you and getting someone who's trying to tie you into pretzels. If you're trying to constantly have to fight them off and be moving limbs out of your way and grabbing arms from around your throat, that's exhausting. And he's going to find out firsthand exactly the kind of pressure that I put on someone when it comes to the mat. So.
Yep, definitely is. Well, Daniel, want to thank you here. I got one more question for you on the way out, but I want to thank you for taking your time tonight. We wish you all the best of luck with anything. We'll be talking to you as two-time champ after this. So we want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on, and we are so happy to be able to sponsor your match, Daniel. So I got one last question for you, man. I want to ask, who is the dream opponent? If you got one last match to go out, anybody in history, anytime, anywhere, who would it be?
Oh man. I mean, there's a couple big ones that, I'm unabashedly, maybe my favorite wrestler ever is Dick Beyer, the Sensational Intelligent Destroyer. RIP, he passed away a couple years ago. His work is so legendary and ahead of its time. Look him up. There's some amazing matches from the 60s and 70s on YouTube. Mm-hmm. But I think when it comes down to it, I think he's the greatest of this generation, and maybe the biggest influence on me as a pro wrestler. It's Daniel Bryan Danielson, whatever you want to call him.
Sure.
The American Dragon.
You've been known to sing a song about him.
That was actually my friend. Shout out to my friends in Cheap Pop, Jackie and Nick. They do an amazing band called Cheap Pop, and they wrote a song about Bryan Danielson. I just covered it. That was their song. So
look it up, everyone.
Look it up. It's on my socials. But yeah, I would love to wrestle Bryan Danielson. That'd be a dream come true. Someone, two guys from the Pacific Northwest. He's obviously done a little bit more than I have, but he came from a small town, Aberdeen, Washington. I'm from a relatively small town, New Westminster, British Columbia. And I think that'd be an amazing way to go out for me. So
yeah, great answer, man. Well, once again, Daniel, thank you so much, man. Best of luck to everything. Go follow Daniel Makabe on Twitter. all his social medias. Make sure you see this guy wrestle live sooner or later. You're not a wrestling fan until you see this guy wrestle live. But best of luck, Daniel. Thank you so much, man. And can't wait to hopefully bring you back on. Let's talk again soon.
Thank you so much, guys. The pleasure's been all mine. I appreciate you sponsoring the match. I appreciate you having me on, and looking forward to seeing you guys this coming weekend at SCI. And anyone listening at home, hopefully you make it to Chattanooga and see me repeat as two-time SCI champion.
That's right. Check out Scenic City Invitational this weekend on IWTV Friday and Saturday, and the future showcases during the day on Saturday. And then check out this man, Daniel Makabe, right here against Adam Priest. Opening match. Sit Down Marks Podcast is the sponsor. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Daniel, thank you, man. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon, all right?
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Man, that was a fantastic interview with Daniel Makabe. Man, we can't thank that guy enough for being on the show, man. I had a wonderful time talking to Daniel, man. I really could have kept talking to him for a while. What about you guys, man?
Yeah, man, it was really great. He's a good storyteller too. I really enjoyed. I think my favorite story was about his football or soccer jerseys and the number 9 and the whole backstory behind that. That was really cool.
Yeah, and I had to get me one of those jerseys that kind of mimic. Looks like the one he had on the night he won the 2019 Scenic City Invitational. So that was a fantastic interview. We're going to talk more about the Scenic City Invitational a lot here on the show tonight, and Makabe. But here we go, episode 21, boys. What's going on?
Episode 20. We're back. We're back from our little hiatus, which was.
We are back. You know, we've been on so long. We had a best of. How about that?
Yeah, I know. For the first time, thank everybody for downloading and checking out that episode. But we are back here live, episode number 21 here tonight. Man, we got a lot to cover here because a lot is going on in the world of wrestling. We tweeted out earlier, what a world of wrestling we live in. I mean, all we got to say is Nick Gage versus Chris Jericho, like mind blown, right?
The most unexpected thing.
The one match you would probably bet on would have never happened in your lifetime.
Just the fact
on
that
broadcast television.
Yes, Nick Gage was on broadcast television.
Yeah, unbelievable. We're going to wrap all that up for you here. But welcome, everybody, to episode 21 of the Sit Down Marks podcast. So let me introduce you here. I am your heel host, Dirty Bird. I got my two guys with me here, the best tag team in all of the land. First of all, let me introduce to you the co-host from the land of the rattlesnake, Mr. Team Extreme himself. You better acknowledge this man. Everybody welcome Primo.
That's right. Thank you. I'm glad you two are finally back. Now we can continue on with our episodes live and in person. Also, 112 days now.
I mean, that's rapidly coming to a close.
We are in the triple. Oh, sorry, you can't really see it that well, can you? 112 days.
112 days. Primo's been the Sit Down Marks champion. It's coming up here shortly. He's going to have to put the title up here because SummerSlam is right around the corner. So that's
think I'm not keeping track of that ticker.
Yep. And let me introduce to you the other part of the best tag team in all of the land. He is the only babyface actually left on the show. So all you grandmas and ladies and especially single out there can jump on the babyface wagon of Mr. AJ, straight out of your mama's kitchen, assistant editor and producer. Welcome back, buddy. Good to see you, man.
Good day, gentlemen.
Yeah.
That was a very Sir Arthur Lance.
Sir Lance Murderhawk.
Sir Lance.
Sir Lance
Murderhawk. Good day, gentlemen. Good day.
Glad to have everybody back here,
man.
I'm excited. This is going to be an exciting episode once again. That was want to thank Daniel Makabe, the 2019 Scenic City Invitational winner, for that absolutely great interview to start the show. here today. So let's get into things here. Want to first of all thank our sponsor of the show today. The Marks have merch. Let's talk about it here. We T Public Sit Down Marks. We have our own store there now. AJ's rocking the shirt already.
Oh, wait! I'm very thirsty. Hold on.
Oh wait!
Oh,
got a mug, a Sit Down Marks
not the
coffee
mug.
Available on tpublic.com /users /sit down marks. Check it out, guys. They are the sponsor of the show today. Get your Marks merch. Like I said, buy the hats, buy the shirts, buy them for your wife and your girlfriend, and for those accidental kids that you're gonna have in the future. Get those Sit Down Marks onesies.
That made me laugh way too much.
There's wall art, and there's also there's even face masks, I think, on there.
There is. Notebooks. Like I'm a notebook nerd, so I ordered.
There were some cool notebooks on there. I'm thinking about getting.
Yeah, I got some stuff on the way.
We're dropping multiple designs each week too.
Yes, we are.
That's right. Go check it out. tpublic.com /users /sit down marks. Let's talk about everywhere that you can get our podcast, basically everywhere that you get your podcast, but I'm going to run them down here for you. We're on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts, TuneIn Radio, Amazon Prime Music, Audible, and where can you see us on Friday night, boys?
I believe we're on Sportinarium Online Radio at 7:15. Is that right? Is that our time slot? Right after the Thomas Bryce show, who is the man, and I'm going to start a feud with him because he has my boy Javi on his Mets, and it's really making me mad.
Yeah. We don't need to talk about the Cubs or the dispersion of, so to speak. But
no, we don't. I'm a Yankees fan now. I don't like
say that ever.
But it's true. Root for the stupid Yankees.
All right, Primo, get us fired up, man. Today in wrestling history and birthdays, man. Let's get this episode 21 underway.
All right, I'm going to keep this short and sweet for today's day in wrestling history. But real quick, let me talk to you on August 4th, this day in history back in 1995.
Okay.
Previously that year in April, they had the Collision and Korea pay-per-view. WCW did with New Japan, and so they didn't actually air it right away. But on this day in 1995 was when they actually aired the Collision and Korea on pay-per-view.
Wow!
So they waited a few months.
Yeah, waited a little while. There had to be some dust had to settle. But
yeah, yeah.
Before they could
go watch that Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah. Crazy, man.
And the other thing that happened on this day in history in 1997, also WCW, on the 100th episode of WCW Monday Night Nitro.
Ooh.
Anybody know what happened on the 100th episode?
Ronnie Garvin's. Go ahead.
Vince Russo booked a diaper on a pole match where whoever climbed up the pole, the other team had to wear the diapers. And I don't know. Vince Russo sucks.
I'll say Double J. I was going to say Ronnie Garvin, but that was way long before. Double J slammed Ric Flair's head in a cage, and he was out for like a couple weeks. I remember that during.
On the 100th episode of WCW Monday Night Nitro, Lex Luger dethroned Hollywood Hogan's year-long World Heavyweight Championship streak and won the World Heavyweight Championship off of Hollywood Hogan.
Lex Express Torture Rack.
He had it for like 5 or 6 days, and Hogan got it back.
Yes. Hogan got it back. Yeah. We're kidding. We're just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, out of all the people that could take the belt off of Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Lex Luger. I mean, I love Lex Luger, but he's funny.
So I actually saw a clip of that today, and it's just funny whenever Lex would do the torture rack because he does it and he's shaking them, and they're like, they're saying "I quit" or shaking their hand, or like, it's hard to tell what the opponent's doing. But sometimes I think the ref's just like, all right, they're in torture rack.
Yeah,
bring the belt.
Yeah. Like he comes over to him, he's got that finger. He's like, And then
Yeah.
he turns and rings it. Yeah,
Exactly.
What WrestleMania was it at where Hogan beat Yokozuna by, I think it was count out or disqualification, and he like got all excited like he won the belt, and he was like celebrating. Everyone came in the ring, and so they released confetti. It's like, no, dude, you won by DQ. You didn't win the belt, so
Right.
stop celebrating, you idiot.
Championship advantage.
Yeah.
Read a book.
That's right.
The rule book.
So, moving on to wrestling birthdays, August 4th. That's today for all you marks listening right now.
It is the 4th.
So, we have two of them. Simple.
August the 4th,
1960.
Ooh.
Dean Malenko.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah. The man of 1,001 holds.
Not as many as Chris Jericho, but
No.
Yeah.
Well, Jericho
No.
forgot a few of them.
yeah. Armbar.
The scroll.
Arm
Scroll.
drag.
Remember the scroll that had
Yeah.
all the moves on it?
Yeah. Greatest thing ever.
Amazing.
Oh, so good.
1977. Very relevant today. I even wrote down, I don't even know, don't think I wrote this down. Oh, I texted you guys. I said, how good is he looking these days? Frankie Kazarian, the Elite Hunter.
Frankie Kazarian in 77.
Yeah.
Good God.
He's looking phenomenal these days.
He's
Yeah,
older
man.
than all of us.
He's 44.
Good.
Not all of us.
Lord.
Edit that out, Primo.
Eric's older than 44.
Yep, 44 and a half.
And that is this day in wrestling history.
Boom shakalaka. Nice. I like that. It's always cool to see who was born, on this day or whatever. So our boy Big Beef, he went for the Iron Spirit Pro title. We won't, no spoilers, but we got to run the Big Beef intro here. So listen up. Big Beef has some words for everyone.
It's the Beefs are here, and I'm telling you, you better turn into the Sit Down Marks podcast with AJ, Dirty Bird, and Primo. And if you don't, Beef's gonna have to hit you with that beefy bomb. Tune in, folks. They won't disappoint you.
All right, so AJ went to the Iron Spirit Pro show last week.
Yep.
He got some pictures with Mr. Beefy Bomb himself. We'll talk about that later in the show. But let's get in last week's recap order here as we get rolling with the show. AJ started us off with a super freaking red hot dynamite now.
Oh my God.
It is super, it is unbelievable how hot AEW wrestling is
And
right
it's going to get even hotter too. You don't think that it is after this week you're like, okay, that's about it. But no, there's just more things coming up.
Yep.
So
Rumors.
I'm going to try and go over this as fast as I can.
Hints.
There were many hints,
Yes.
and watch them not do any of it now, and then everyone just leaves.
I actually have something funny to say about that, but go afterwards.
So this was a stacked episode, so I'm going to go through the main points as fast as I can. Opening match was the 10-man tag team elimination match featuring All the Elite and then Hangman Page and Dark Order. And this is their opening match. This could main event like any show ever, but we'll get to the main event later. So this is one of my favorite matches that I have seen this year, period. I'm just going to go through all the eliminations because there were so many spots and so much going on that it was like I was taking notes, and in fact, eventually I was just like, I gotta stop.
You could keep writing.
I do that a lot.
So here we go. Heels get the first elimination with Alex Reynolds, who gets rolled up by Carl Anderson. Awesome. After that, Evil Uno pins Machine Gun, I believe, and then after that, Stu Grayson and Doc Gallows were both counted out. So now it was even again, 3-3. And then just awesome. Omega hits a V-trigger and a one-winged angel, which is the most protective move in all of wrestling anywhere right now. Like if he hits it, it's over, which happened to Evil Uno, and so long, Evil Uno. Yeah. And then that just left Paige and John Silver. There we go. Check my notes. And he was against, the Young Bucks and Omega. And then after that, what happened after that? Oh my gosh. I didn't cuss. You cussed.
Sorry,
Down
so
to
much. There's so much
Silver got
happening.
eliminated, right?
So after the BTE trigger, there it is.
That's what. Yeah.
And then John Silver got eliminated, which just left Hangman Page in a valiant babyface effort against
Cowboy stuff.
Cowboy
stuff.
And he did do cowboy stuff.
Cowboy
It was great. Cowboy shiz. So
Shizrit.
Hangman Page is 3-on-1 and it's awesome. And he gets one elimination.
Cowboy shit. There, I said it.
What?
Yeah.
Can we say that now? Because I've been dying to cuss.
Aggression.
Are we turning a corner on this show?
Attitude era.
Are we
gonna mark
Our
Attitude
first
era?
20 episodes are PG.
Yes. Now we're going PG-13, where we get one F-bomb.
now I have to check the box that says expletives.
Yes.
All because of Hangman.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
He's so over.
So he gets one elimination. He gets Matt Jackson with Buckshot Lariat. And then you thought for sure that Hangman Page was going to pull through, so they get a shot. So Dark Order gets a shot at the Young Bucks for the tag belts. But nope. 2 V triggers and a 1-winged angel. And then Hangman gets pinned, which I'm not entirely sure what they're doing with him, because now I've read that it's no longer going to be the main event at their next pay-per-view, All Out, which things that we'll get to later might have something to do with that.
Right.
But it was a fantastic match. There's people flopping all over everywhere. Like, the entrances were fantastic.
That's what I was going to say. I was hoping you were going to mention that. That was my favorite.
It was so
I
good.
loved it, dude. The entrances, they're all coming out wearing the purple bandana. They're all like, they all line up. They all go, they all do the Dark Order. And then you got Hangman in the middle.
And then when the Elite comes out, they're wearing Space Jam shirts.
They're all wearing the Toon Squad or whatever.
Yeah, this is annoying to me.
Oh, I thought it was hilarious.
I thought that was hilarious was the alley-oop botch or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I love that. First of all, where did that basketball hoop come from? Was that underneath the ring? And they pulled it out to do that spot and then they missed it.
They're missed.
Oh, it was so good. I loved it. I love this match so much. And the crowd was into this match.
Yep.
Everyone was over. It was awesome. I loved it. What else do I want to talk about? FTW champion. I love Ricky Starks, by the way. I hate him so much. He has such a punchable face.
I love Ricky too.
Dude's $1 million.
He's great. Yes. Yeah. He's the best heel in that company right now, except for Omega.
Tell you, he was money in NWA as the TV champion.
Was he?
It's just COVID hit, man, so they didn't really get time to, he might have dropped it before COVID happened, but yeah, he's good, man. He's a natural.
He's the greatest natural. I want to punch him, horribly so. I have a need to punch him.
Yeah, honestly, a quick little side note: when I read the notes of Adam Cole, possibly, the first matchup I thought about for whatever reason with him in AEW was against Ricky Starks. I'm like, they could go, man.
Yep.
Adam can wrestle a broom, but But
when you have Ricky Starks,
right.
Who's just
can also wrestle a broom.
Yes, and is such a natural heel. It's great.
Yeah,
I would be on board with that.
I always love gimmicks too when you come out with flowers and we get one of the fans to kiss you on the cheek.
Yeah.
I love it, man. That is good stuff. Good wrestling stuff right there.
I love it. So he fights. Who does he? He basically just celebrates his FTW win. Machine comes in, Taz is there, blah blah blah. And then we get a promo from Hiroshi Tanahashi. Are you kidding me?
I know.
He's gonna take on Sir Murderhawk for the IWGP United States Championship next week. I already loved AEW more than anything. It's oh, by the way, Tanahashi's coming. It's
that's great, man.
Cool.
A lot of people watching AEW guarantee they probably haven't seen Tanahashi wrestle before.
No, I bet
it's gonna be awesome.
I like that Moxley called him out though because he was ducking him.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about Moxley here in a little bit too.
Great.
Up next, Santana and Ortiz versus FTR, and the match got cut short because Cash Wheeler had a bit of an injury.
Gash.
Yeah, could have been much
Wheeler.
better. Cash
Oh!
Wheeler.
Zing.
The IWGP United States Championship was defended by Sir Lance Arthur against Hikuleo. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Hakaleo.
Hakaleo. And he's the one who came out with Haku, right?
Yeah, because that's his dad.
That was so awesome.
Yeah.
Like when Haku came out, I was like,
yeah, he's in the Bullet Club
goddamn
with Switchblade. Yeah, another one of those Samoan bloodline guys, man. It just he looks like $1 million.
Bring him in.
Right.
Bring them in. Bring them all in. Bring all the Samoan dynasty together and make it one big NWO. Except
we're gonna see it, man. They're gonna play this whole thing out on AEW and Impact. With Guerrillas of Destiny, like we're gonna see it all. Like it's gonna be an interchangeable. It's gonna be awesome.
They're all gonna one day show up on he's gonna be like, I told you I was head of the table, and then they all come out.
I would watch that.
And then it's like, we acknowledge Roman. He's the man.
And then that's it. They all just leave.
They all leave. Like, we gotta go back to our own shows now.
Right. All right, Roman, you're cool. Gotta go. So what I think is the most important part of this show, Darby Allin's cutting a promo, and he uses the line, "best in the world." I wonder what that could possibly mean.
So I actually have something to say. So it was just a hilarious exchange on Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always finding these. It was 2 years ago that Shane O'Mac was going by "best in the world."
Shane-O.
And
Silly
McMahon
bastard.
would never show up on AEW, but how hilarious would that swerve be?
Yeah, if it was Shane McMahon that showed up,
that would break the internet actually, because
it could, Daniel used that moniker as well, so it could be just him. You know what I mean? That's where CM Punk got it from.
Jericho used to say, "I am the best in the world at what I do."
Right. Yeah, he had a little addendum to it.
Yeah. How's your sit down Mark's water?
It tastes better out of this mug.
It's a little markier.
It tastes a little markier.
Is that real Jameson?
This is sweet tea.
Sweet tea.
He's got work later.
Yeah. He's got work
later. I need to stretch. Hold on.
Oh, man, we're everywhere.
That time to make sure you go to tpublic.com/users/sit down marks to get your sit down marks official merch.
We have merch.
Show.
Awesome.
I'm
never
proceeds from that website. We do get a portion of the proceeds. We've already seen it, and it's awesome. Any support is welcome. And thanks.
Yes, thank you.
It'll just be put back into wrestling.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, it's gonna be put back into this show,
like shape or form.
So if you want this show to be better, buy our stuff
right
now.
All right. So the Darby promo, this thing set Twitter on fire here, man.
Yes, it did. There were like 4 things in this show that set Twitter on fire.
Yeah,
that's just one of them.
Yeah.
But this is my favorite one because now if AEW doesn't deliver, fans are gonna riot, especially in Chicago, where they're where Rampage is.
Right.
Oh, riot! Oh, absolutely riot. Okay, moving on. I'm taking much longer because we have so much stuff to talk about. Christian Cage and Jurassic Express versus the Hardy family. Christian Cage gets the win. I'm okay with that. I love Jurassic Express. I love him so much. He actually thinks he's a dinosaur. It's great.
Everybody but Marco. Marco's got go away heat for me.
Yeah, a little bit.
But you like some, you like don't. Like some, you like don't.
You like don't.
Some, you don't like some. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just Marco. I see him wrestle on the Indies and stuff a lot too.
So I saw him at an ICW like the other day. He was He was actually on the same show where Matt Cardona won.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hold on, I have to write down. You like some, you like don't.
You like don't.
That's
going on a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt.
That's going on a t-shirt.
All right.
Up next, we have Thunder Rosa versus Julia Hart. Cool that Thunder Rosa's in AEW. It was just a
full time now, right?
Contract? Yeah. It was just a showcase match, which was great for what it was. Okay, so here's Chris Jericho versus Nick Gage. And this is Painmaker Chris Jericho, which 2 weeks ago I marked the F out when he came out as the Painmaker. Loved it so much. So as his this is the second trial of Jericho, he has to be in a hardcore match with Nick flipping Gage. For those of you who don't know who Nick Gage is, look him up.
MDK.
Yeah, legendary. Well, has become legendary deathmatch wrestler over the last few years. Famously robbed a bank.
I was about to say, have you seen? You know what kayfabe news is?
Mm-hmm.
So kayfabe news is a fake news source.
Yeah.
Okay, they said after Matt Cardona won, he's like, this just in: Matt Cardona caught robbing a bank after he had won the championship from Nick Gage.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, Nick Gage, he's become a cult hero in deathmatch wrestling. He's always fun to watch. You never know what's going to happen. He's this era's homicide. Excuse me, not suicide. Homicide. New Jack. He's this era's those kind of, and his famous thing is putting a pizza cutter on the forehead and letting the blood flow. So
I
that's
love
Nick Gage, and he's in a match with Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho, who
mind blown,
does not need to be in death matches at this point in his career.
No,
he's in his late 40s, early 50s.
Yes,
he's a legend. Like
he's a beautiful man.
He is, and you throw him in a death match with Nick Gage.
I'm gonna say this real quick. Awesome for Chris. That shows how much Chris loves wrestling. It makes me like him that much more that he's willing to.
He's for the business.
He's doing it for the business. He realizes there are going to be a lot more eyes on that product by Nick wrestling Jericho. Like, as a wrestling fan, you put those two names on the screen, you're like, holy cow, I'm definitely watching that just because of the matchup. But, just the fact that he is broadening the wrestling horizon by tapping into this genre that he's never been a part
and
of.
That's those of us that know,
right?
And there's those of them that didn't know until they saw the match, and they're like, holy crap, let me go check this guy out. In Nick Gage.
Yeah, and they probably seen him bust a light tube over Chris's head. Then they went and started Googling him on YouTube to see the real, this was a scaled back version, obviously.
They saw him.
But kudos to Jericho, man. This is great, man.
Still pretty brutal too. And by the way, after this match, I had to go rethink for our dropkick discussion today. I had to go rethink because I set rules for myself for this one.
Sure.
But then after this match, I'm like, okay, I have to throw my rules out.
We should have a top 5.
Yes, we should have. So the spot first of all, this match was very divisive. People either absolutely loved it or hated it because deathmatch isn't their particular cup of tea. Yeah. I personally loved it because I'm not the biggest deathmatch fan in the world, but I am one of the biggest Chris Jericho fans in the world. And just to see him getting battered with fluorescent light bulbs and the pizza cutter, which brings me to divisive point number 2. AEW, oh my god, that was so funny.
Was that planned? Y'all think it was planned?
There was there's allegations now that WWE set that up. There's no way. They're not even on the same network. Yeah. People are making stuff up. That's a rumor.
I think that was 100% Tony Khan making a joke.
And it was hilarious.
It was great.
And supposedly Nick Gage didn't know about it until he got back to Gorilla. and he laughed so hard.
Yeah. And then the whole thing blew up because Pabst Blue Ribbon was calling out Domino's for being sissies. They're like, well, screw them. We'll take the spot, And so they're trying to slide in Domino's spot now. It went nuts, man. It was crazy. I told my wife about it, and she laughed so much that I had to show her this really happened. They're pulling a slice of pizza out for a family, and then over on this screen, right next to it, he's rubbing blood out of his pizza cutter off his forehead, wrestling. Yeah,
I thought it was brilliant.
But what's funny is I was so into the match that when I watched it the first time around, I actually didn't notice that.
Oh, you didn't notice? Oh,
No.
right when I saw
because I was
Domino's,
so like tunnel visioned on the match, on the picture in picture. Yeah.
Oh, I caught it immediately, and I started laughing immediately. I'm like, you got to be kidding me! They're actually
That's
showing
great.
a Domino's Pizza ad when Nick Gage was cutting open Jericho's forehead with a
the
pizza cutter.
cutter.
Wonderful wrestling.
Right.
Wrestling.
Last thing, do we know if Nick has a contract or is this a one-off kind of?
I think it's a one-off. I think it was specifically for the Trials of Jericho.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I can't see them putting Nick Gage on TV.
Labors of love.
It just it all fell into place because he dropped the belt to Cardona at GCW.
I know, right?
So that's why I'm like, oh, he's getting a contract. That's what my wrestling brain thinks because he dropped the belt and it came out of nowhere. Like, boy, did they really shock the world. Like, I loved all these deathmatch purists, like, just going berserk over your champion is woo, woo, woo.
Pelting him with garbage.
Oh, my God. That was such a great video, man.
It was. That was unexpected. Matt
God.
Cordona, of all people.
Yes, I know. All right, AJ, off the rails. Get back to AEW here.
So, the end of the match, after horrendous, bloody, awful spots, which were awesome. Jericho hits the Judas Effect and beats Nick Gage at his own death match, which is fantastic.
Through the glass pane.
Murder, death, kill.
Murder, death, kill. It sets up the next trial, which I am even more excited about because it's
Me too.
Juventud Guerrero.
Juice.
Hoovy juice.
And Jericho has to win with the top rope maneuver. Brilliant.
The man that unmasked Hoovy.
Yes, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it so much. I love AEW.
It reminds me of Nitro Cruiserweight.
So, did you notice the other little Easter egg right there in that area that you're talking about right now? MJF, when he was announcing the third labor to Jericho, he made a very clear reference to the pipe bomb promo.
Yes, he did.
Where he said, as you lay there, hopefully in more pain than you ever been.
Right.
Which is what Punk said to Cena as he was laying there in the ring.
One of the first lines of the pipe bomb.
Yep. That one was a bit more subtle than that.
I think his was paraphrased,
Yeah.
But it was definitely like Mark's like us immediately were like, oh.
Yeah, exactly.
He immediately perked up.
Right, yeah.
But did you see that?
Was that intentional? Was that a thing? This episode of AEW was unbelievable. I loved it.
Last 2 weeks has been like just nonstop, like just must see wrestling. Like we're back. We're back in a big way. AEW is a big part of it. We'll talk about more of of releases getting signed and stuff. But wow, yeah, wild. Is that it, AJ?
End of recap.
All right, so that is it for AEW Dynamite
for now.
All right, here we go for my part with Impact Wrestling and the Indies. So I'm going to start with the Indies. We are going to the AAW show in Chicago this weekend, so we got a segment later dedicated just to that. So, but this weekend, looking at everything going on this weekend, one of the big shows that jumped out to me and Primo are going to check this out on Sunday. It is IWTV. They're calling it 100. And what it is, actually, it is the 100th defense of the IWTV title. The current champion is Utes himself, Wheeler Yuta. So he is going to defend the belt for the 100th time against Daniel Garcia. It's going to be a good they got a nice card put together there. I think Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander is both on it. So check that out. I think it's 5 o'clock Eastern Sunday, IWTV. Me and Primo will be tuned in to check that one out. So, all right, so let's get to Impact Wrestling here last Thursday. So the show leads in, obviously the big news right now is Jay Switchblade White is in Impact Wrestling. He is the never openweight champion, the leader of the Bullet Club. So the show starts off with a showing last week, Chris Bay, who Impact is really going all in here. he finds a Bullet Club shirt sitting in his locker room, so he kind of picks it up, So anyway, Chris Bay's kind of gimmick thing is that he doesn't join groups. He's always a solo kind of guy, so this is kind of continues that storyline. So, but anyway, that is the lead in of the show, the feud between Jay White and the Bullet Club, with the Bullet Club, and the Good Brothers trying to get Bay to join. So anyway, right off the bat, first thing, they got fans back in the Impact Zone, I guess they still call it.
That's still what it's called, the Impact Zone?
I think, man. I believe that's what it is. But not a lot of fans. It was like a standing room only just around the ring. Not a whole lot of fans.
A little trickle.
Yeah, I would say
a trickle of fans.
A puddle.
400 or 500 maybe tops. Maybe 400 might even be stretching it. But
that's like all the Impact Zone holds, isn't it? Like 130 plus.
Well, they have the stand room, and then they usually have that tiered seats, but none of those they've been blocked off with those, so none of those have been open. But all right, so opener of the show, it was a good one. Good Brothers versus Jay White and Chris Bay. Again, I love seeing Jay White. This is great. It just kind of blows my mind. I love hearing him talk because he's an excellent promo. I mean, he's a freaking leader of the Bullet Club right now in New Japan, man. That's huge. Anyway, a couple things I noticed that, like I just said, they really want to push Chris Bay. They're putting him in this match with Jay White, trying to lift him up, and also with the Good Brothers, essentially New Japan guys. They are very well familiar with each other from wrestling over there with the Good Brothers. So, but anyway, they wrestled all very well together, but Chris Bay ends up taking the Magic Killer, and that is the end of the first match. Next matched up was Finn Juice and Fala, and a new partner that you guys might recognize. No way. Jose.
No way.
Jose.
Oh.
Dirt.
So anyway, he's just no way. Now.
He just no way. He couldn't have went with Jose. He went with no way.
He's just no way.
Wait, that's not seriously his name? No way.
Yeah,
He went the way she wasn't supposed to go.
Same gimmick. He's got these people in party suits that follow him to the ring and they're dancing, and same gimmick. So
can I make a little confession?
Sure.
I love No Way Jose.
I enjoyed.
I do. Every time I'm like, burr.
I enjoyed No Way Jose's little party thing better than Adam Rose's.
Not me.
The Rosebuds
we're way off with this.
No, yeah.
No way it was a rip.
I like the trip. The whole thing. It has a little beat to it. It's catchy.
Yeah.
And No Way Jose is like, I thought it was more entertaining.
Dirty must be a generational thing. Old man Dirty,
not
like
gotta be generational. Why do I always got to be too old to get the joke?
You know what's funny? We're like the same age.
Right.
You're seriously like 4 months older than me, and yet you're the old man.
I'm the antique that sits on the shelf here.
You're the one who's like, "What's that, Sonny?"
Bunch of marks. PG.
Marks on a coffee cup.
Moving on here, they wrestled. Let me go back here. Finn Juice, followed by No Way, wrestled Rohit, Madman Fulton, and Shira. I just said the faces win, so the faces won. By the way, man, Juice Robinson, man, still a star, man. I don't know, why isn't he even world champion, top tier world champion? He gets it for me, man. He just has it. I feel like, I don't know, he just does. But
yeah, I think so too. And
always has. Remember his early NXT gimmick? He
TJ
was
something. I forgot.
He was like an eco-friendly.
Yeah, he's a hippie dude.
Yeah. He's been so good in New Japan, man. But anyway, I love it. Willie Mack and Rich Swann beat Violent by Design. Eddie Kingston, Sammy Callahan, and Kazarian next week announced versus the Good Brothers and Omega. So that's going to be the going to be the main event for next week. Which is funny because Eddie's going through this kind of. You expect me to help Sammy out?
Yeah.
Hit me in the eye with a bat, like playing off of that. So, all right, here we go. Running into the main event: Moose versus Saban. Once again, hard fought match. Just when I think this thing's kind of peaked and fallen off, it keeps going. But it's interesting, so it's good. Moose wins with a big spear. He throws Saban out of the ring, but Saban attacks him after he gets up from the spear while Moose is celebrating. Security comes out. It's a big pull apart. So obviously the feud continues, so that's where we are. So last thing, Impact Plus had a what they called homecoming this weekend. It was basically like a king and queen tournament where it was a mixed tournament. I was trying to think. Matt Cardona, Chelsea Green was a tag team. Petey Williams and Jordan Grace.
Little Petey Pump.
Yeah, little Petey Pump. She was thick Mama Pump.
All right.
Yeah, and they both wore the headdresses. It was great. And he come out in his interview. He come out and he said Petey in 2/3 or something like that. He like, it's your boy Petey in 2/3. Something like
Brilliant.
that. Anyway, yes, it was a mixed tag throughout tournament. Anyway, the winners end up being Deonna Purrazzo, and I can't remember his name for nothing. The Drama King.
Aiden English.
Aiden
But I
English.
don't remember what it is now. It's something I can't
Yeah,
pronounce.
it's not Aiden English.
Matt Rewalt.
Drama King.
Drama King, yep. So he was the partner of Deonna. So it looks like he's in Impact now. So Ben, the other big thing that happened at Homecoming was Eddie Edwards beat Morrissey, giving Morrissey his first loss under Impact. Morrissey, a.k.a. Big Cass.
I've never been a fan, never will be a fan.
Can't teach that.
You can't teach that. So that is the wrap up of Impact, and we got some more. Like I said, indie segments later on. So, Primo, if you're ready, man, let's get SmackDown underway here as things are picking up here.
Smackity down.
Smackity down.
Here he
Can't
goes.
wait for that T-shirt.
Woo!
Acknowledge Primo, and we're all waiting to.
Let me talk to you.
Attaboy.
That's right. Listen to the champ when he speaks.
You look so serious when you said that. Let me talk to you.
Waited to let me set him up this week.
I did. I was listening. It was like 2 episodes ago where he was like, "I was gonna set you up." I was like, "This next time, I'm gonna wait."
Just wait for it.
Yep.
Wait for it.
So we had there's 2 kind of 3 developing storylines on SmackDown right now.
Right.
I'll go through the minor stuff first. So first up, we had Jimmy Uso versus Rey Mysterio. So the past 2 times the Usos and the Mysterios have faced off. The first time, whenever they won the belts, they did this tactic where they put their feet on each other's back to where it was assist for the pin, and they won that way.
Yep.
And then last week they did the same thing and won the same way. Well, this week, Dominic put his feet on Ray's back, and that's how Ray beat Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Boo.
I'd be okay with this if it leads to Ray beating the crap out of Dominic. I'm on board with it. Dominic, just go away.
It's child abuse.
He's not 8.
He's like 22. I'll say it's okay to beat your child when he's of age.
Right. Have we ever had a real blow off between blood family, like other than maybe the Hardys?
I'm
sure it's been
Brett and Owen.
Yeah, Brett and Owen.
Back in the day when they still pretended that Edge and Christian were brothers.
Yeah.
There was that.
He was like, "Mom's in the hospital."
Yep.
Ridiculous.
Mom's in the hospital.
Mom's in the hospital.
Anyway.
Oh God.
So Reggie is doing something a little different. He had a 24/7 championship match against a mystery opponent who ended up being none other than, it looked like it was going to be the alpha trainee Otis, but instead it was Chad Gable. Reggie,
Sin Cara entrance.
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah.
I mean, they totally hid the trampoline,
Right.
but this dude went from the floor to the middle of the ring with
Yeah.
2 feet and cleared the ropes.
There was one difference though between this entrance and Sin Cara's entrance is Reggie didn't botch 4 times in a
Ooh.
row trying to get into the ring, and then break his finger, and then have to call the match off.
I'd say
because his finger-
Reggie's pretty smooth with it. So he ends up winning because of DQ. So still 24/7 championship title holder.
Ew.
Wait. Okay, so it's the 24/7 championship. They pinned each other in like Applebee's parking lots and stupid like
Everywhere.
84 times a DQ. And
Got busy in a Burger King back.
It was a sanctioned match. They had a ref and everything.
But it's the 24/7 championship. How do you get a DQ? That's like saying there's a DQ
Well, that's
in like
true
a hardcore
because
championship.
like the hardcore belt, it was like anything goes anytime.
Yeah, there's no
Right.
DQs. How do they have a DQ in this match? I'm sorry, I was like,
They're testing our intelligence.
WWE.
My wrestling brain's glitching now. So Twitch. Anyway, so it was we had
Instead of twitching, did you just say Twitch?
He did. I thought he was just gonna move on. I was just gonna let him.
it came out, yeah.
Twitch.
So instead of actually doing it.
Yes.
Right.
So Bianca Belair comes out to celebrate her 100-day reign.
I'm on my own against the wall. I don't know why I always have to do that. I do.
She's
It's
the
like
EST of WWE.
I don't like that saying.
Me either. I mean, she's the greatest, the best, the EST of WWE. Anyway, so for that saying, she gets jumped by Carmella and Zelina Vega.
What is Zelina Vega doing in there?
I don't know.
She's the
She
put over
returned
person right
like
now.
3 weeks ago, and like
They brought her back to just put other people over. That's
she's
all
so tiny.
She's a small woman. Why is she in the championship picture?
So anyway, her and Carmella are just stomping in Bianca Belair, and we get a return. None other than the Boss returns.
Yeah, glad to see her back on my TV.
Boss time.
Finally.
Sasha Banks comes out. We got a real
Yeah,
champ on the show now.
Yes.
So anyway, that leads to them later on having a tag team match. Playa.
holla holla. AJ,
Dance, since we're saying things that we're doing.
yeah, why haven't we got to say Cesaro in a while either?
Fist guns.
Was he even on this show? I don't even know.
Yeah,
He was in a tag team match
yeah, with Knock.
with Shinsuke Knox.
Oh,
and
that's right.
Bowie.
I didn't write that down because it was like
Boom.
it was
This is
irrelevant.
pissing me off. It was irrelevant.
So Sasha and Bianca defeat Zelina and Carmella afterwards. They're celebrating. Woo, yeah, woo, yeah. And
What does
Sasha-
celebration sound like?
woo, yeah, woo, yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
Sasha ends up turning on Bianca and
Thank Jeebus.
just giving it to her, showing
Yeah.
her who the real woman is.
Giving her the business.
I love her. She gave her the backstabber while
She
stabbed
sure
her in the
did.
back. Y'all see-
Uh-huh.
That's right.
y'all see the irony?
I did, even though that's her move.
Yes.
But she was
But
in
she
the
just
process
stabbed her in the
of
back.
backstabbing.
With
Both.
And then I like how she puts her in her submission hold. She stops for a few minutes, grabs the title, raises the title, puts it down, gets her back in the hold,
Mhm.
and then that's how the bank statement, and
Yep.
that she did that twice while the show went off the air.
Thank God they brought her back as a heel. If she would have been, she doesn't work as a face. Like I love her, but you're so much better as a heel.
Yeah, So the second developing story on SmackDown, Smacking It Down, is the Edge and Seth Rollins feud. So Edge arrives to the ring, and his entrance goes into the commercial break. After you get back from the commercial break, it's revealed that Seth Rollins assaults Edge.
No.
During the commercial break, before he could even finish walking to the ring, he ends up smacking him in the face with the video camera up on the stage. Afterwards, Rollins is in the ring and he says he's tired of Edge taking everything from him. He then rolls the footage of Edge getting the opportunity to face Roman at Money in the Bank instead of him, even though he was promised it by Adam Pearce and Sonya. He says he's the rightful heir to the Universal Championship, and if he cannot have it, neither can Edge. That's what he said. So
I like that as a reason for a feud.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
that's fair.
That's great.
I 2 weeks ago, whenever he no, it was Money in the Bank. Whenever he curb stomped Edge,
Yeah.
Beth Phoenix she tweeted out something like "I hate that man" or something like that.
Her husband?
No, to Seth.
Kayfabe.
That makes more sense.
So the main storyline of SmackDown, man. So John Cena opens up the show by coming out of the ring. They show
Good God, like
I mean, I had the giant sigh.
yeah, I think Primo is like generally disgusted to have to read this segment here. But I'm kind of excited now to see what.
John Cena opens up the show by coming out to the ring. He shows the replay of the previous exchange between basically him and Roman talking trash, the missionary promo, all of that.
Fantastic. God,
right. It was amazing. I love how they keep referencing it.
My favorite Romo.
Romo.
No,
Greatest Romo promo.
No, I'm not a Cowboy fan, people. No, that was the best Roman promo I've ever heard, man. It was so good. I love
Goldberg. It's the same thing every night.
I love his facial expressions. He's like, "I'm the tribal chief. That don't work for me." Talking about missionary.
Yeah.
Like, that was fantastic.
It was
dude.
great.
Like, his face sold it.
You can tell all the women in the crowd are like, all right.
Yeah, like, oh, yeah, man, I love that angle.
So they show that, and they show him declining John Cena, which I loved, by the way. I love the fact, it was him being his ultimate heel character right now, head of the table, and him having control, and him not giving into this legend returning like Bobby Lashley's have to do.
Yeah.
So, anyway, he declined John Cena and he accepted Finn Balor's challenge previously.
Oh, that made me so mad.
Previously. So then Cena says Roman stinks because he's just a scared little kid. And he says that Reigns' reasoning is stupid, which that's not a nice word, Marks. We don't say that. That's what I tell my children.
You call your children Marks?
No, I tell my children we don't say those words.
Hey,
that's
Marks.
Mean. It's hurtful.
Don't say stupid.
So he tells Roman that it's not that he doesn't want to fight Cena, being Roman. It's because of how Cena's going to make him look at SummerSlam. Then out comes depressed, boring Baron Corbin.
They need to be careful with him. He's
suddenly, I love him so much now.
So do I. This is the best. Like, where was this Baron Corbin?
He's a residential homeless guy.
It's so good. He is in there, man. And he comes out. He said, and Cena's like, Cena doesn't recognize him at first, and then he realizes that it's Baron Corbin. Cena ends up giving him some money. I think it was $100.
Yeah, he gave him some money.
And then, but Corbin's ungrateful and calls him a sellout. So Cena ends up hitting him with an attitude adjustment and takes his money back.
So heelish.
Later on in the night, in this same angle, Finn Balor and Roman Reigns are set to have their contract signing for a SummerSlam matchup. The funniest part of the beginning of this is that they had it set up traditionally where the chairs are opposite of each other, and Roman gets in the ring. He's like, just like looks at it around. And he tells Paul, "Move the chair to the head of the table."
That was so good. After that, I hated every part of this.
So then, after talking down Cena and talking up Finn a little bit, Roman tells Finn that, just to let you know, if you sign this contract, he's gonna smash him and send him back to NXT. Finn's response was, that it will be a privilege to return to NXT once again, the Universal Champion.
Right.
So as Finn starts to sign the contract, gets attacked from behind from Boring Baron Corbin and thrown out of the ring. So then Baron Corbin grabs the contract and he starts to look like he's going to sign it. In my head, I'm going, whoa, what a swerve. I'm like, what in the world? Like, man, he's really taking this into his own hands. He's on the come up.
Yeah.
He's really desperate, you know? And so then, right when he looks like he's going to sign it, out comes the White Knight, John Cena, and he ends up taking this contract and signing it himself. So he stole the match from Finn. I wrote in capital letters here on my notes. It just says boo, because I'm not a fan of this, and I just didn't like it. And I mean, it's whatever, you know. Everybody's gonna be happy because they could see Cena wrestle, but me personally,
Summer of Cena, boys. It's the summer of Cena.
it's not though.
But why they
Why
they have to do it at the like giving up Finn Balor for it? Like
that's what I'm saying. All of a sudden that was useless. But and also it's like, you know, I've never been a fan, even whenever it was with The Rock, way back in the day. I've never been a fan of just guys coming in and just, you know,
like
taking
Goldbergs,
opportunities,
like your Brocks.
Yep,
Yeah.
I don't like it either.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
These dudes work all year, and you got. I mean, granted, John Cena's a legend, and first of all, he's not going to win.
No, he's not winning.
But it's like, you know, whatever. Anyway, I digress.
Really quick, would you put Brock Lesnar in that category, or someone who comes back just wins the title?
He's hard because that's his thing. Like, that's his. He is a part-time wrestler. Like, he only wrestles when he gets paid to wrestle.
I guess so, but I still don't think they should ever put belts on him.
But I don't ever enjoy when he's champion.
No,
because then I don't ever see the championship.
Nope, it's like it doesn't exist.
Right.
Ever.
What about if The Rock came back, though? Would it be different?
No. Well, as long as he's not winning.
If The Rock comes back, The Rock is winning.
Royal Rumble, 2012 when he beats CM Punk?
Uh-huh.
How ridiculous was that?
Not popular.
Also, by the way, I heard that the dark matches after the last two SmackDowns have been Cena and the Mysterios versus the Usos and Roman to kind of help get John
Cena,
back in
ring rust.
Yeah,
ring rust off and stuff. Shape. So, yeah.
So, backstage, Adam and Sonya are talking to Paul Heyman. He's like, did you see that? Basically, like, you guys are just going to let that happen. Somebody literally stole the contract, put their own initials on it, and it says Finn Balor in print on the contract.
Yeah, it does.
And he's like, Adam and Sonya make it official. And I wrote, this is what I wrote. I said, backstage, Adam and Sonya make it official and stupid that Roman and Cena will face off at SummerSlam.
And stupid.
I
think though.
I bring him back and let him face somewhere in the, I just don't take away the main event from somebody who's been there all year.
I gotcha. Yeah. But they're really trying to go all in. They want to get eyeballs. Yeah, it's a money grab. It's a legend for Roman to take out.
Plus, he'll definitely win.
To be fair, Finn Balor hasn't been there all year, so he's
been in NXT.
Yeah, but he hasn't been on SmackDown. He hasn't earned any time. I want him in the title picture because I love him.
I mean, when is the last time we even saw John Cena? Before COVID.
Yeah, it was before COVID. Ooh.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, been a while.
He went off to China and did all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Grew his hair out.
So that was SmackDown. Right.
All right. Yeah, I'm over it. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on here to Monday Night Raw. Not a lot happened. It was,
It was the best show ever. What are you talking about?
Right. Primo's going to break it down. Nia Jax. So Primo going to break down Raw here this past Monday. Here we go.
Not gonna lie, she did look kind of like a beast with that blood pouring down her face.
And plus, like Rhea Ripley couldn't lift her for the
Yeah.
riptide.
So let's go with door number 1. 2-on-1 handicap match with Shanky and Veer versus Drew McIntyre.
Shanky.
Match gets interrupted by Jinder with the steel chair. And then all 3 members, because this is the accumulation of the past couple of weeks, because Drew has just been demolishing these dudes with a steel chair. I think he hit Veer. No, he hit Shanky with like 34 chair shots 2 weeks ago.
I don't know which one's which.
Yeah,
Shanky's the tall one. Veer's the shorter one.
Oh, so yeah, Shanky is the one who got hit.
Shanky's the tall one. Yeah.
So anyway, so all 3 of them.
Veer's the one that beat Jeff Hardy on main event a couple weeks ago.
Feel better, Jeff. Feel better.
We love you, Jeff.
He's down with the sickness.
If he was Willow, this would never happen.
So that's why he's not there beating. That's why Keith Lee is there beating Kerry and not Jeff right now.
50-50 booking.
Anyway. So all 3 members of the Gender Club have steel chairs in their hand, ready to attack Drew, and he comes out and grabs his Angela. Is that her name? Angela? His sword.
His sword.
He's all of a sudden he is assaulting with a deadly weapon.
I don't like he's threatening murder. Like,
yeah, that's not okay.
No.
So anyway, and so that's how that ends. He scares them off.
It's wrestling though. We threaten to kill people. It's okay.
I got Rhea Ripley defeats Nia Jax. Blood happens. Mason T-Bar defeats Mustafa and Mansoor.
More 50-50 booking.
Damian Priest defeats Johnny Drip Drip. Afterwards, Sheamus comes out to attack Priest, but Ricochet, Prince Puma makes the save. It turns into another tag team match, player.
Holla holla.
Then
Arm dance, Teddy Long.
Priest and Ricochet
What are you doing?
win the tag match. Next up, we have
You look
Karrion
like
Kross.
Mr. Burns when he was stoned.
Karrion Kross arrives, and Keith Lee comes out so we can all bask in his glory.
Bask in his glory.
And he defeats Karrion Kross with that spirit bomb, baby.
Why? I mean, I
like Keith Lee. So
I do.
I'm cool with that.
Why did he lose last week though? Like they're just
and the thing is, I don't have a problem with Karrion Kross.
I do.
I just think he's kind of boring.
Yes, I agree. He's very boring. And I'm not on board with his Spartan gimmick.
I feel like
you guys are entitled to your opinion, and it was way off.
wrong.
Here's the deal. I think with the right gimmick, he could be awesome.
I was reading that little, how you just go down a rabbit hole reading ridiculous stuff, that they were going to make Karrion lose for a long time, and then Scarlett will come back and bring him, and now then he'll
yeah. I read that too. That Scarlett is the reason he's losing.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought you were going to say that he was going to lose for a long time, and then turn into sad Karrion Kross, and people are going to try and give him money, and he's going to grow.
Wait, they're already doing that, aren't they?
He's going to try to steal the championship contract.
Yes.
That made sense.
Hobo Cross.
Hobo Cross.
Nikki Ash defeats Charlotte Flair in the No Holds Barred main event. How about that? Almost superhero.
What's going on here?
I like that.
I hated it.
I like Nikki.
To do that, yeah.
I really like Nikki, and
I hate everything surrounding this championship.
I'm gonna buy my daughter Nikki Ash action figure when they come out with it.
See, I think she could have been the most over women's wrestler in the company if they would have given her 3 months with the briefcase, or even 3 months. Because
I feel like she's still pretty over with the fans.
But she shouldn't be beating Charlotte clean. Especially when they were
they had to if she was going to stay because Charlotte beat her the Monday before, and then she come back and she's like, I'll beat you, next week, and she did.
What I did notice though was towards the end of this match when she ended up winning, her facial expressions. We're starting to get a little bit of that crazy Nikki.
Yeah, a little kooky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the main storyline of Monday Night Raw.
Of the evening.
The almighty Bobby Lashley arrives to the ring. MVP says at this point the almighty still has not dignified Goldberg's challenge with a response, as he shouldn't. I'm all, I am on their side.
Next.
So he says that Goldberg is still a warrior and still the man, but
is Goldberg going to win this match?
No, I just don't see it.
Yeah, but he says so. He ends up saying basically, does Goldberg want to be remembered as a champion or as a casualty? And I really liked that. So then, right about the time he says that, after he says, "Will he be a champion or a casualty?" Goldberg comes out, and I wrote this down too. I said, his son Gabe is so much older.
Yeah.
It was like just a few years ago he was a little kid.
It's like time passes.
It's like, puberty hit or something. Goldberg says that MVP is nothing but scared, and Lashley looks scared. So he says Goldberg lives by the spear and Goldberg will die by the spear. At SummerSlam, Lashley, you're next.
But Lashley's nervous about the jackhammer.
Oh my God!
He
dropping Undertaker on his head.
Yeah. Hopefully.
So Lashley goes to ringside to size up. I have to go after Goldberg leaves. MVP and Lashley finally realize that Goldberg's son's right there, so they go there to size him up, and Goldberg runs back out and spears MVP because they're talking trash to him.
Why did he leave his son out there to begin with? What do you expect, Billy?
Lashley says he hopes that Goldberg brings his son to SummerSlam so he can watch him annihilate him. So basically, that was him accepting the challenge finally.
I'm not on board.
And that was Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Rizal. Yeah.
Rizal.
Not a whole lot happened.
Rickety Rizal.
All good things on Monday Night Raw.
It was a treading water episode.
Did I talk about... Oh, yeah, I didn't even talk about Riddle.
Oh, yeah, I hate it.
Bro.
He has a new scooter because Omos almost broke his scooter last week. He's so nervous about his match with Omos because he has the power, but he has the power of Randy Orton flowing through him, bro.
Again, Randy Orton's dead right now.
Yeah.
Right.
When Riddle comes out, Oh, I did write this down. When Riddle comes out, the 3 facts on the sidebar, they say the original bro.
Right.
The middle one said he travels around on a scooter. The third one says his best friend is Randy Orton.
I like it. All right.
And then
is that
lost.
It for Raw? Primo?
Yeah, that's Raw. That is Raw.
I want to say this. On my vacation, I had a Matt Riddle shirt on, and it just says "Bro" on it. And this guy on the beach walked up to me and asked me if it was an NWO shirt. Because
it is.
It's because it's set up like the NWO, but it says "Bro," it's NWO. I'm like, nah, no, sort of, kind of, not really.
No, you're dumb.
You know who Matt Riddle is? He's like, oh, I haven't watched it in like 20 years. I'm like, okay, never mind.
Get out of my face.
Yep.
Yeah,
moving on.
Go back to your beach chair.
Forgot to mention this early. We got some brand new stickers.
Yes.
Sit down,
We
mark
are
stickers
everywhere.
with our faces all over them. If you'd like some free sit down, mark stickers, all
Our
you gotta
faces
do
are on stickers.
is message the Twitter account or Facebook account that you would like some stickers, and we'll send some out to you. Brand new free ones. Going to get those to the boys this weekend. All right, let's go. Dropkick discussion of the week here. Like we talked about, AEW is. Go ahead, Pre.
Yes, you with the hat on.
Yes.
I was curious if you wanted to learn about NXT or not.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well,
You were so patient.
I was. Well, you know what? I wasn't looking at the screen, so I was. Yeah. Let's back up. Okay, I've been off for a week, so I'm a little rusty. All right,
It's okay.
let's back up here. Primo,
Some
what
of us
happened
worked
Tuesday NXT?
while you were on vacation, Dirty.
No,
so-
AJ.
So NXT opens up with Hero. Come out, opening matchup against Legado del Fantasma. Match gets interrupted when Santos Escobar hits Top Dollar with a steel chair.
They bring out their own album.
Yeah, they do. They have their own vinyl.
They have their own vinyl.
Then Legado del Fantasma isolates Isaiah Swerve Scott in the ring, attack him with a chair, and then rip his grill out.
Oh.
Yeah. So then Fantasma, while they're distracted, Hit Row's able to sneak up behind him, get the upper hand, and basically chase him out of the ring. But Escobar still manages to steal Swerve Scott's grill. We had. I'm just going to basically go through
in this COVID era. We're stealing grills.
Yep.
Off people's faces.
Yeah, we are. NXT Breakout Tournament final first round matchup. We had Trey Baxter versus Joe Gacy. Trey Baxter ends up winning and moves to the semifinals to face Odyssey Jones. Last week, I don't know if you knew this, Dirty, but last week, Carmelo Hayes defeated Josh Briggs.
Yeah. Josh Briggs, my guy, man. I want to see him. Honestly, I didn't get to see NXT 2 weeks ago because I forgot to record it on Sci-Fi.
What?
So I didn't get to see it 2 weeks ago, so I had to go Google Josh's match and watch it. So
is that where it's at?
Hope he.
Sci-Fi?
That's where NXT was on the last 2 weeks.
Really? Because I've been looking for it, honestly, but I've been having to watch the replay because I wasn't sure where it was at live.
Yeah, it's on Sci-Fi because of the Olympics. So
I'm paying attention.
Stupid Olympics.
Yeah, but yep. Odyssey
Yes.
Jones probably going to win that tournament.
Yeah, so Odyssey Jones and Trey Baxter, and then you got Duke Hudson and Carmelo Hayes.
I like Duke Hudson.
Big Duke.
It's a good name. Duke Hudson. That's
Duke.
like an old school.
He's an Aussie.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it looks like Luke Rockhold to me in UFC.
Yeah, we talked, yeah. So backstage, Grimes and LA Knight discussed their upcoming matchup against the grizzled young veterans, the
soon to be recognized as the NXT Tag Team Champions of the World.
That's right. Thank you. Knight tells Grimes that he has to wrestle in his butler outfit. And after that discussion of having them, they basically it's like, are you going to have my back? Are you going to have my back? They kept going back and forth with that. He makes Cameron shine his boots right before the match.
Was the last week the golf when Cameron Grimes and LA Knight?
That was last week.
That was last week?
Yeah.
I love that segment.
So during the match, Grimes goes for a tag, but LA Knight jumps off the apron and denies the tag. Starts walking to the stage, and Grimes, he has to go full send all by himself, and then against GYV, and lasts a little bit until GYV they're too much for him, and they end up defeating him. But after the match, out comes Ted DiBiase and tells Cameron that he knows he's a man of his word, but he's got to figure a way out of this situation. Last week, Dakota Kai turned on Raquel Gonzalez and attacked her. This week, Dakota says that if it wasn't for her, Raquel would still be nothing. She says that she let Raquel get the victories, but everyone knew Dakota was still the real leader. Dakota Kai believes that the stand and deliver championship match that Raquel was granted should have been hers, and she said that she was starting to be seen as Raquel's sidekick, but she is nobody's sidekick.
I told y'all I seen this coming, didn't I? I told y'all, I said, y'all see how Dakota's looking at her?
Yeah.
I was like, the jealousy setting in, the turn is coming. It was a little quicker than it was a little quicker than I thought would happen, but yeah, so that's probably going to be the real heel right now is the tacos in AJ's belly.
Yes.
They're awful.
So we had
Who eats tacos for breakfast?
we had a love her or lose her match between Johnny Gargano and Dexter Lumis. So the way is so over. They're calling it Index. Like Brangelina.
Yeah.
So they're calling it Index. They're over it. So basically, this match meant if Dexter beats Johnny, he gets to basically get to stay together. If Johnny wins, it's over with. That Indy needs to get back on her A game and stop worrying about Dexter. So actually, Johnny ends up winning, and he tells Indy it's for her own good. But as they start walking up the ramp, Indy looks back. And she runs back to the ring. She freaking Luthez presses Dexter and straddles him and just makes out with him.
Wrestling love stories, right?
I know.
Luthez press.
Like, this is how wrestling writers view the actual love stories. Yeah, no, she totally tackles him.
I'm gonna Luthez press my wife tonight. She'll never hear this, so she don't even know what that means anyway.
So, and then the main storyline is, I don't know if y'all saw NXT last week, but the main storyline on NXT right now is that last week Samoa Joe resigned as an authority figure. He was reactivated as an active superstar, and he was given
Joe.
He was given Karrion Kross at TakeOver 36.
That was very fast, by the way, that they brought him back to in the ring when they were like, no, he's just going to be an authority figure, and then 18 minutes later, no, he's back in the ring.
Yeah.
Right. His shirt said "Provoke me."
It did. I actually like that shirt.
Yeah. I want to get that shirt and
it's simple.
Get the crap beat out of me all the time.
So backstage, Regal orders some security to watch over Samoa Joe this week. Order him to watch over Samoa Joe, basically, so that him and Karrion Kross don't tussle before their match at TakeOver 36. Later in the night, Karrion Kross storms to the ring and berates Joe as he says he had to quit his job and couldn't control him then, and he still can't control him now. Like Dan and a boo-boo. So Kross says, who provoked who? And then right as he says that, you see Joe trying to break through all the security, trying to make his way down to the ring to get Kross. Kross does the cowardly thing and hightails it out of there before Joe can get down there to kill him. He's going back to Raw to lose again. So Joe attacks all the guards and ends up choking one out right there in the ring with all of his rage. And that is NXT, my friends.
I like the pen drop, though. Very authoritative.
All right, so we're clear now. We can move on.
Yes, proceed, sir.
All right, thank
you. The champion is done.
It's a little bit off there. All right, so now we can move on to our dropkick discussion of the week. This week's discussion it almost kind of pulls right into to everything that's going on right now because AEW is white hot. So today we're going to talk about our top 3 favorite.
They've been choking one out lately.
Wrestlers here tonight. So it could be a top 5. We're going to come back to this later. That's kind of why I only want to do 3 right now. But you can throw a couple honorable mentions in there. Let's get this going, guys. Who wants to start us off?
You in the hat. Go ahead.
Acknowledging guy Primo.
Let me talk to you. My number 3, and I'll say 2 that did not make my list. That if we had a top 5, they would have.
Okay.
And they might be on you guys' list, and that's Miro and Omega.
Okay.
So
it's possible.
Yeah. Yep. So that they would have been my honorable mentions. My number 3 right now today is Darby Allin. He is this generation's Jeff Hardy. He's everything that I loved as a kid, and 2.0. He's better. Honestly, he's crazy. And he's a thrill to watch. He really is.
He is. I feel like he's the guy when they bring somebody in, they put it right with him. If CM Punk comes back, they're putting him right with Darby because. It's a great match right now. He lays it all on the line. He's paired up with Sting.
Right.
Yeah, he's doing great, man. Is this your number 3, AJ?
Oh yeah, number 3 is one Darby Allin. For all those reasons, he made the TNA title prestigious. Like
TNT.
oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, TNT title, not TNA.
Right.
That would be a different
Moose
title altogether. I'm sorry, I'm choking one out right now. But yeah, he made the TNT title. Like, I get that Cody had it first, but no, Darby Allin was the one that made it like a desirable championship, and then Miro just kind of ran with it. But yeah, like I think the coffin drop it's kind of a nonsensical move, but I think it's
super
awesome.
reckless.
Right. Yeah.
But it's awesome. Like I love the coffin drop.
Like extremely reckless.
Yes, very. He's going to.
And the thing is, so there's 2 things here. So he does the coffin drop. Kofi does the trust fall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but Kofi's trust fall is like PG next to the coffin drop.
Agreed.
Well, plus, like when Kofi does it, he's super careful. And
he kind of looks back. Yeah.
No, Darby's just like. Blah!
No, yeah, he goes for it.
Yes.
He doesn't. When he went through that actual coffin a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
That was
I thought he died.
With Ethan Page. When he wrestled Page. Yeah, that was good stuff. You got any honorable mentions, AJ?
I have many, but that has to do with the fact that. So remember earlier when I said I had to change my rules after. Initially, I was like, okay, I don't want to pick anyone that was a WWE holdover, unless they are so drastically different in AEW that their WWE character is irrelevant, basically. Right. But then after the hardcore match, we'll get to that eventually. But that was so. My honorable mentions are also Miro and Jake the Snake, even though he isn't a wrestler, but he's there, which is I love it so much.
Did not see that coming.
Christian Cage was on that. Matt Hardy also on that. Like basically all the guys that came from WWE. Like I was like, I'm gonna try and leave them off.
Yeah.
So that's I have
V1.
V1.
All right, so
you are an MFer.
For me, AEW, when I said favorite wrestlers, I mean, whether you like their wrestling, their promos, or they're just fun, whatever. So for me, I want to throw out a couple honorable mentions. I gotta say Omega because he's been my favorite champion for quite a long time. And then if I had a number 4, it would be Eddie Kingston without a doubt. Just because of I know his story, I love his promo, like everything about him. I love that he's getting a shot. So
see you Saturday.
So we get to number 3 here for me. You guys are probably going to laugh a little bit, but I've watched a lot of wrestling in my life, and I grew up watching the guys that weren't the body guys. You know what I mean?
I've always schlubby heels.
Yes, basically. I always, and I always grew up kind of liking those kind of wrestlers. So with that being said, another reason why I like guys like Kevin Owens is because they look like me. You know what I mean? Not like, I'm a little out of shape. Got a little bit of a belly on me. And this guy's out here wrestling. So
Kevin Owens really does look like my brother.
So So the reason why I have this guy at number 3 is because he looks like me. He's entertaining, and when he comes out and he grabs a microphone, like I'm intrigued. But my number 3 is Evil Uno. Like I love Evil Uno. Like he's just fun, and especially since this whole Brody thing happened, like I really felt a little more lovable about him. You know what I mean?
With the glow up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like when he walks out, man, and he's got his hand behind his back, I'm laughing because it's like a gentleman move, and he's not. You know what I mean? It's like it just screams a lot of wrestling.
It's little things, yeah.
I love it, man. So for me, number 3, Evil Uno, Primo.
So my number 2, I did not follow AJ's rules, but I like him way more than I did in the WWE though, and that's Jon Moxley. And he's so all over the world right now.
Yes.
And he is basically, if Darby Allin is this generation's Jeff Hardy, Moxley might be this generation's Stone Cold.
Agree. Yep, absolutely.
So,
it's the closest to it.
I'm just saying, and he's awesome. Like he gives no fricks. and
poops?
yeah, none at all. And he's just balls to the wall every time, and I'm kind of digging Wild Thing.
Yeah. I'm warming up to it. I didn't like it at first.
I
but-
like how it's just a sing along song that we all know, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And,
Isn't it kind of weird though that we have real songs in wrestling now too?
It's great. Like I love it. Like licensed music in
Whoa,
wrestling.
whoa!
That one I can do without, but
It's like a Listerine commercial song.
it is a Listerine commercial. That's what I think of every time Jungle Boy comes out.
Yeah.
Like my mouth is already minty fresh. Thank you, Jungle Boy.
Where you at for number 2, AJ?
I'm at John Moxley for number 2.
Oh, you did? Oh, shocker.
So,
All right.
yep, number 2. And
All right.
so this is where I started breaking my own rules because he is so drastically different than he was in WWE. Because he was the wacky line and the lunatic fringe, and he beats up dummies and squirts people with mustard.
Steals plants.
Yeah, steals plants.
Yep.
And I loved him in WWE, but no, in AEW he's so like this is who we should have had this entire time. Like I love the John Moxley character. Love him to death. If he could be face, heel, doesn't matter. Everyone loves him. He's always going to be over.
All right, for me, number 2, a little bit of a swerve. She's my favorite AEW women's wrestler. So I don't know if you know me. You know my number 2 is Chris Statlander.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even have to even say she's. I like it when she's on my TV.
Because she's very good at talking.
She's a very good wrestler, man.
She is a good wrestler.
The gimmick, whatever. But I feel like she's fallen in this best friends gimmick. I think she's really good. I've watched her live a lot on the indies. So for me, number 2. All right,
she is gorgeous, by the way. Just gorgeous.
Bombshell. Here we go, Primo. Let's get these number 1 started, man.
All right, 3-1 for me. I had Darby Allin, number 3. Number 2, I had John Moxley, and number 1.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
He's on my top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time.
You did it.
Chris Jericho.
Judas in my mind. I knew
Uh,
you guys would go there.
I mean, he's my favorite in any, not just AEW of all time. He's one of them. Anyway, he's on my top 5, and he's amazing to me. It's just like if I just focus on AEW, he has been able to. Well, I'll focus on, let's say, since last WWE release, he has been able to adapt this new Chris Jericho, just like he has throughout his entire career, and it's just awesome. That's all I'll say, and I'll leave the rest to my co-host, my other drip drop, AJ.
Drop.
Number 3. I got
Darby. 2, Johnny Mox. Uno 1, Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho, obviously.
You guys need to quit calling each other. For
We think too much of
that was a bit weird. So Chris Jericho, for everything that Primo said, and each time he comes up with a new character, he gets it over. And this time it's Le Champion, and it's every time I'm like, okay, that's going to be my favorite Chris Jericho character. Le Champion is my favorite Chris Jericho. Minus you just made the list. Like that's still the best ever. But Chris Jericho, and he was in a hardcore match. He does not need to be in a hardcore death match, but he did it for the business. Like he loves wrestling so much that he's going to get cut in the face with a pizza cutter to put the product over.
And Domino's.
And to put Domino's over, even though they were a little upset about that. But Chris Jericho, and by the way, he will also be in my top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time. But he does it all. Like he's talks, wrestles, everything. He's the best. Best ever.
Everything he's done up to this point, even now he's all in the news again for different reasons. Yeah, he just constantly reinvents himself. So, all right. So my number 1, because Ric Flair isn't on the roster yet.
Yeah. We'll get to that.
After being released, my number 3, Evil Uno, Chris Statlander 2. All right, boys, my number 1. I'm the heel host for a reason because the heels run wrestling. Who's
Taz.
the biggest heel right now in
MJF.
the AEW?
Taz.
It's MJF.
Yeah.
Maxwell Jacob Freeman. He is spearing the show. You know, he's the hottest heel in AEW. He's got the hottest microphone skills. You know, he's spearheaded this whole.
I feel like
feud.
he is under that Jericho learning tree. Like,
Oh,
dude,
yeah. Yep.
yeah. He is so good, man.
yeah.
Like when he talks, I love it, man. And you know, and like he's one of those guys I'd love for him to cut a promo on me, and he could talk about the worst things about me, and I would laugh and love
and it'd be great.
Yeah.
I love MJF.
Amazing, man. He's so good.
He really is good.
He really is like the best pure heel.
So speaking of Ric Flair and all the, we'll get to more releases later. But did you see on? It was on Twitter. I don't know if it was John Silver or Evil Uno or whoever it was, but somebody from the Dark Order. Every time somebody got released, they're like the new leader of the Dark Order.
Yep, new leader of the Dark Order.
New leader. Yeah, which makes total sense.
It would make total sense.
Even
Ric Flair, new leader of Dark Order.
Bray was Brody's best friend, correct?
Yep.
In real life, yeah.
In real life, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, how awesome
It's
would
weird,
that be?
man. Yeah, we'll talk about that all coming up. So, all right, so that is the Dropkick discussion of the week. Nice job, boys. Way to be the same again.
I blame taste.
Yeah, we have excellent taste.
Yeah, we do.
Maybe one day you'll be champion too, AJ.
Oh, maybe.
No.
All right, here we go.
I have no retort.
Let's get into some of the meat of the show here today, boys. This weekend, August 6th and 7th in Red Bank, Tennessee, the Scenic City Invitational. I believe this is year number 6. I believe it started in 2015. I was in attendance in 2018 and 2019. And this is a fantastic tournament. Had we not been going to AEW, we probably would have been down going to this tournament. So basically, the Scenic City Invitational, as Daniel Makabe was the winner, as the interview from the beginning of the show. What it is, basically, it's a yearly tournament. Like I said, been held since 2015. It's usually been held in Tennessee. It's become a destination. It's become a destination vacation for the Southeast. A lot of people travel from all over the world to come to this tournament, and it's really fun. A tournament. Everybody gets to see each other kind of once a year. A lot of everybody that comes to the tournament stays at one hotel. The City Cafe, I believe, out there in Chattanooga is one of the big places everybody goes and eats. But it's more than just a wrestling tournament. It is. They have events throughout the weekend. They usually have an eating contest. I think this year it's hot dogs. They do a SCI prom, which always turns into some fun shenanigans. And then they also have little contests, and the wrestlers, get to meet some of the fans and stuff too. So, but just some history about the tournament, guys. Some people that have been in this tournament, if you're not familiar with it. A little guy on AEW named Darby Allin was in this tournament.
Oh, that guy? He's on it.
Yep. Mance Warner, a legend, Too Cold Scorpio, was in this tournament before.
Yes.
A guy named Matt Riddle won this tournament before.
Bro.
Joey Lynch, the local 205 Live Mr. Moonsault himself, has won. Daniel Makabe won 2019. Joey Lynch won 2018, by the way. Tony Deppen has been in this tournament. Tank, Anthony Henry, PCO, Gary J, Warhorse, Joey Janela, and the man all in the news right now holding the pizza cutter, Mr. Nick Gage himself was in the tournament, I believe, 2019. I believe he was in it. So, but yeah, some of the best matches I've seen live has been at this tournament. Makabe and Deppen, and then in 2018, PCO and Joey Lynch, one of the awesomest matches I've seen live. Joey dropped so many moonsaults on PCO; it was incredible. Big Beef been in the Future Showcase tournament that I'll talk about in just a second. But what it is, it's a 16-man tournament, elimination style. The winner is crowned on Saturday night, opening round on Friday night. They have a Future Showcase on Saturday, where a lot of young guys get a chance to come in and display themselves. What they have is, excuse me, 3 triple threat matches on Saturday, and then the winner of all those 3 fight in a triple threat match for the Futures Showcase championship. One called Manders won it in 2019. I believe Marco Stunt won it in 2018 whenever I was there. So that's a cool little tournament. That comes on at 2 o'clock Eastern time Saturday on IWTV. So also want to give a big shout out to the Scenic City Invitational, all those guys that run everything over there, Scott Hensley, Dylan, Matt Griffin with Action, all those guys. They do a great job of putting on this tournament. They do a great job of putting together matchups, and we are very humbled and excited to be a part of this tournament. We are sponsoring the first round matchup between Daniel Makabe and Adam Priest. What do you guys think about this match, man?
I can't wait to see Daniel Makabe.
It's going to be technical,
just roll, because obviously we just talked to him, and I want him to win the whole thing, but I don't think he will. But I'm firmly behind him. I can't wait. I think he's gonna destroy the first round.
He definitely can do it. There's beef there with AC Mack. I'd love to see a second round of fight between those two guys. Adam Priest is a very, very good technical wrestler. Wouldn't surprise me in a first round matchup upset. But this thing's blown totally wide open, man. I've been looking at this thing, trying to make predictions, of who I think is going to win. First of all, I want to talk about the Future Showcase. Hoodfoot is looking good. I like Ron Bass Jr., who is the son of Outlaw Ron Bass Jr. Outlaw Ron Bass.
I was wondering that actually.
Yeah. So looking forward to that.
Kayfabe son or actual son?
I believe actual son.
That's
I believe actual son. Yeah, I'm pretty positive actual son. But let me just talk about some of the guys here real quick that's in this tournament here. Daniel Makabe, like I said, Adam Priest, Brett Eisen, a local guy that's been dominating that scene for a while. He's a big fan favorite. Derek Neal, Jaden Newman, who he's a big TW guy. It'd be interesting to see him. Now, Eric Royal was the first guy when I looked at this field. I thought, man, this could be the guy to win this thing. But I'm kind of swaying a little bit right now towards possibly Brett or Daniel. I'm not sure. I'm gonna make a prediction here shortly though. But AC Mack is in it. We got John Davis, Daniel Garcia, who is wrestling Wheeler Yuta on Sunday in that 100th defense of the IWTV title. Alex Kane is awesome. Cabana Man Dan is wrestling. That's going to be awesome. One called Manders, Logan Creed. And then the last guy I want to talk about, Jeremy Wyatt, is in this tournament. He cut a really good promo. He is not a Southeast guy. We know him out here in the Midwest. He's been the St. Louis Anarchy champion for a very long time. He's going to open a lot of eyes this weekend too. So, man, we got some really awesome first round matchups. AJ, Primo, wow, you guys make your prediction. I'm going to decide between who I'm going to take here. But real quick, before we get to y'all's predictions, our boy Big Beef is in the match. Or in the tournament. He gets to fight AC Mack, who was the runner-up in last year's in 2019 tournament. So Big Beef, I'd love to see him go on a big run here. Give me some prediction, boys. Who wins the tournament and why? Primo.
So we had such a great conversation with Daniel Makabe just a little while ago, and while I would like to see a repeat, back-to-back win there, I got to say, I'm pulling for our boy, our friend of the show, Mr. Big Beef. I want to see beefy bombs all around the tournament.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to see his first round matchup with AC Mack. So, all right, AJ, who you got?
Did you steal my notebook? Like this?
Strike it out.
Because so there were a few wrestlers in this tournament that I hadn't heard of before. So I was doing research and I got behind AC Mack. I was like, I like this guy. I like his look. He has caution tape on his jocks. Like it's
Right.
awesome.
Yep.
But then I saw he was fighting our boy Beef, and I'm like, well,
Yes.
I gotta go with Beef.
Yeah.
Like he's deserves it. He's certainly I got to see Beef live for the first time. I'm like, this guy's he has something.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be on full display in the SCI tournament, and I can see not just because he's a friend of the show, but just because I think from his match at the and plus I think he put a giant spotlight on himself, and I think he's going to kind of
the Deppen match. Yep.
And I think he's going to kind of start solidifying himself as someone who's moving up in the business, and I think this tournament's going to do it for him.
The AC Mack, man, he is a heel's heel.
He really is.
Can work a mic. You know, he'll talk you in the seats. You know, he's really good. It's going to be an interesting first round match of styles there. So, all right. So, like I said, when I first looked at it, man, I thought Eric Royal, it's his time. You know, I always have a little hunker, for the local guys. You know what I'm saying? You know, Daniel is the best technical wrestler in this tournament, I think, man, and it's hard to pick against him, but I feel like it's Brett Ison's time. He
really?
I sent you guys a video of him going through a door from 2019.
Yeah,
I think it was, and I don't know, man. I just kind of feel like he's hot right now. He might be the guy, to possibly come through this thing. The fans love him. He's going to go nuts. It's at the TWE Arena in Red Bank, Tennessee. This tournament's been held in Chattanooga the last few years at Saudi Daisy High School. But now we're going into a smaller arena. So, like we heard Daniel talk about, Primo, this smaller arena might work in his favor.
That's right.
A little more as he talks about.
He says he prefers that intimate setting. So
yeah, going to be interesting. So, man, be safe, everybody. If you're listening to this, traveling down to the Scenic City Invitational, it is going to be on IWTV Friday night and Saturday night. I think it starts at 7:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 Central. The Future Showcase is Saturday at 2 o'clock, I believe, Eastern Time. So we'll be watching that Friday night. Me and the boys are getting together this weekend. We're going to be cooking out and watching some great wrestling. The Scenic City Invitational is on the docket for Friday night. So good luck to everybody. We'll be tuned in. Thank you once again for letting us sponsor the Daniel Makabe Adam Priest match. And I'm excited to see who's going to win this thing.
It's going to be so awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, man, it's going to be great, man. It's really, really looking forward to it. All right, man, let's talk about some news and notes. As I talked about, man, what a world of wrestling we live in right now. I feel like wrestling is exploding across all the brands. It's great, man. I'm in love with wrestling again. How you guys feeling?
Loving it. And when I say I love it, it's 3 out of the 4 main shows are absolutely killing it. Like, it's AEW, awesome. SmackDown, even though they kind of had an off week this week, awesome. Impact, this is the best that Impact has been in I don't know how long.
Yes, I'm so happy to see that too.
Oh, it's amazing. Like, Impact was always one of those things that I watched just for like the X division and the shenanigans that would always happen, because there are always just such stupid shenanigans, but they were so
entertaining. Who would show up there from getting cut from WWE.
But now it's like it's in its prime, I feel like, or at least very close to its prime, with when you have like AJ Styles and Samoa Joe and all those guys. So
it's competitive.
I'm excited. And then, of course, the news that we could be getting CM Punk and Bryan Danielson in AEW. I have never been so excited as a wrestling fan before. Just for those two alone. Unbelievable.
feel like with AEW starting that Rampage show on Fridays, I mean, from what I understand, it's going up head to head with SmackDown. I think that's when the war is going to start here as we go. What do you think, Primo?
I think it's just it's so awesome right now
So
because
amazing, man. Golly.
it's great, man. It's what we wanted when we were doing this.
Yeah,
and we talked about how many thumbs down we did we give no fans.
I know.
It really did make a difference, and
Right.
and the promotions are living up to it for the most part. And it's at the moment I'm just holding on to my seat. I gotta say that. Yeah, I'm holding on to my seat. However, the one thing I will say that what was it called? Rolling Loud, the rap thing that SmackDown did.
Yeah.
That didn't work.
Nope.
But anyway, I do have a couple headlines.
Rip them.
So unfortunately, with all this good news,
what's that smell?
I do have to bring you down. I gotta bring you down a little bit.
No, we're talking about No Holds Barred.
Don't bring me down, Bruce.
So apparently, WWE and AEW are discussing contingency plans due to the COVID once again being on the rise. For WWE, these plans could mean a return to the Thunderdome and even potentially canceling SummerSlam.
Yeah, I've seen SummerSlam as a go as of now, just because it's about 2 weeks away.
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah,
it looks like a mask mandatory is already going to happen for.
And that's fine. I think that all these things could still go on like they are.
Yeah.
Everybody wear a freaking mask, and if it's up to the promotions, they could start requiring vaccination cards.
Vaccination cards. They're doing that in New York. I'm terrified.
Like for fans to get in, or
man.
Oh, really?
Flash your card. Yeah.
Like
that's those made online now, just like a driver's license.
Yeah, but have you seen the penalties for getting fake vaccine cards?
I don't know. It's just funny to me that there's fake vaccine cards.
Yeah, I know. They're free. Vaccines
are
free.
I have mine. I have one that's scanned in my wallet. My actual one, I actually don't know where it's at.
Yeah, I feel like we're going back to it, but man, wrestling's so hot right now.
I know.
Yeah,
I can't.
So
I can't. I just can't.
The only other headline I have in this regard, we're talking about releases.
You said Thunderdome, and I got pissed.
One I know. You should. When I read that, I was like, remember the other a couple of weeks ago, and I gave us all a moment of silence for the Thunderdome. I was not happy when I saw the words Thunderdome come across my eyeballs.
It's like a bad memory. Like I hate Thunderdome.
It's traumatic.
I hate it.
So, anyway, this is in regards to Adam Cole.
Baby.
This is a quote pulled from Fightful Select. It says, much has been made of Adam Cole's contract situation with the company. Most, including Cole, we're told, had hoped to keep the situation quiet, and it seemed that there was an understanding that it had been kept close to the vest. Others, when finding out the situation, argued that the possible expiration of the deal should be publicized, considering the competitive nature of the wrestling world. By the end of July, word had spread that Adam Cole's new agreement was set to run through SummerSlam. We can confirm that Cole has not formally been offered a full run, a full-on new contract by WWE as of yet, but we are told it's obviously planned by a person of influence within WWE.
So if it's planned, why aren't they going to do it? Like, do it. It's Adam Cole. Like, what are you
doing? They're doing storylines with contracts.
with real life money. Yeah,
with actual.
He's totally signing back with them. They're just because AEW's picking up everybody, and they can send the IWC into a big frenzy because of Adam Cole going.
Because you imagine DB, CM Punk, and Adam Cole showing up.
They could be the Radicals, the new Radicals.
I really hope that WWE isn't going to do that thing again where they sign people just to bench them. Like they did that a lot in like the early 90s. Like they did it with like Dusty Rhodes and they'll sign these huge names just so they're not on competing shows anymore.
Here's another thing, I mean, we haven't talked about Bray a little bit. That's probably the most mind-boggling kind of a little bit, but but now I'm starting to think, man, is WWE just releasing all these people, hoping that AEW will sign them all and then go bankrupt? Like,
Yeah.
what, is this a ploy? Are they just feeding them and
Let's
then
make
they can bring them back?
let's make AEW direct and heavy competition,
Right.
and then I don't understand
So
it. Right?
we all know the whole Bray Wyatt thing was supposedly due to budget cuts.
Yeah, budget
Yeah.
cuts.
Meanwhile,
Air
there
quotes.
are other rumors that Braun Strowman might be coming back.
Mhm.
I hope he does go back.
He's showing workout videos and stuff.
But it's
that
like,
telltale.
why would you bring back somebody if you just release somebody? Like, it's not. I mean, I understand the price point is probably different. They opened up salary cap room when they let go of Bray.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I bet Bray makes about 4 times as much as Braun
Right.
does. But I hope that like Braun Strowman does re-sign. Like I bet he's re-signs at like a less expensive,
So you can say he looks like a thumb.
What?
So you can say he looks like a thumb.
He does look like a thumb.
Somebody's going to get these hands.
Get these thumbs
And a
specifically.
Him and Commander Aziz. Blah.
We didn't even talk about Commander Aziz this week. It makes me sad. He still has a job, but Bray Wyatt, no. It makes me mad. But so one of my real worries right now is that AEW starts signing every released WWE talent, and I don't want that. Like, I love Braun Strowman, but I don't want him tainting up my AEW with his thumminess.
No, I think that ones like the three that have been mentioned, Bray, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Those are all good signings.
Yes. Braun Strowman, no.
Bray Wyatt would they would let him be so creative.
Yes, they would let him do Bray Wyatt things, which WWE hampered him the entire time he was there. They let him do cool stuff for 8 seconds, and they're like, okay, we're gonna chop the old giblets off of that. So
I saw this thing that Randy Orton is actually the forbidden door, the keeper to the forbidden door, because the last person these 4 people, or I don't know, it's 4, but Christian Cage, Mark Henry, Big Show, and Bray Wyatt, Matt Hardy, all of them, their last person to fight was Randy Orton.
Was Randy Orton?
Yeah, I've seen that too. That's funny. It's funny how the internet finds those things.
Yeah. And he's not even there right now. He's like, I don't even know what he's doing.
So August 20th weekend is going to be nuts,
dude. The roof is going to come off.
Yeah. Friday, AEW allegedly Punk showing up. Saturday, SummerSlam.
That also on TNT?
What?
Rampage.
Rampage? Yeah, I think
it is. It is on TNT as well.
Yeah. There was rumors going to be on TBS at first, but now I think it's TBS. Yeah. And then Saturday, SummerSlam. Sunday, NXT. Yeah, it's going to be a crazy weekend, especially everything happens like they say it's going to. So, all right, one more thing before we get to the AEW Savages and Kings card. Do you guys have anything else before we get to that? Any news?
No.
Rumors? Nothing? All right. Real quick, I want to give a shout out, man. Me and Primo are big UFC fans. So if you've been watching the Ultimate Fighter show that just came back, real big thing happening. Really cool, man. Brian Battle, he won his fight last night to get into the Ultimate Fighter finale. He is a member of the Higheston MMA gym in Charlotte, North Carolina. Better yet, a super cool dude, super great dude. He is the coach of my best friend's son at the MMA class there in a gym there in Charlotte. So just wanted to give a big shout out to Brian Battle. Congratulations, man. We'll be watching the Ultimate Fighter finale and hoping you can bring home the contract, man. And so just want to give a big shout out to Brian. So All right, boys, let's talk about what's going on this weekend. AAW Saturday night. We're headed to Bourbon Street Bar and Grill on the south side of Chicago in Marionette Park as Primo's getting on the steel horse Friday morning, headed to the Midwest to hang out here. We are headed to, like I said, AAW here. Primo, let's go over the card. The main event is Eddie Kingston with a partner of his choosing versus Fred Yehai. And a partner of his choosing. So Eddie Kingston from AEW. Primo, run over that card for us, man. What we going to see live?
So that match you just spoke about, Eddie Kingston, mystery partner versus Fred Yehai, mystery partner as well. Singles match between Colt Cabana and Larry D.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Hoss fight.
Singles match between Madman Fulton and Mance Warner.
Oh, nice. That'd be a good one. I poke God.
AAW Women's Title #1 Contendership 3-way match. A thruple.
The old thruple.
Between Allie Catch.
Allie Catch.
Oh, yeah, it's just from your magazine, yeah.
Yeah, she was just in PWI this past.
Yes, she was.
Jody Threat and Sky Blue.
Sky Blue's going to be there. I didn't realize that. I love Sky Blue.
That'd be a good thruple.
And we have the AAW Tag Team Match Playa.
Yeah.
Tag Team Title Match. But it's Infamy with Dion Russman and Josia. I'm botching these names right now.
Okay.
Versus Braden Lee and Jake Lander.
Jake Landar.
Nice.
I don't know why I'm saying things like that.
You're helping me botch them. AAW Women's Title Match is Allison Kay versus Melanie Cruz.
Nice.
Melanie
Cruz. She was in AEW really early when they first started. She was in the women's division.
She was, wasn't she? Awesome.
Yeah, shaved head. Shaved head.
That's right.
And then finally we have the AAW Heritage Title #1 Contendership 4-way matchup between Davey Vega, Hakeem Zayn, Ace Austin, and Frontman Jaw.
There's your show stealer right there, boys.
Hope that kicks off the show.
So we're going to AEW Saturday night, man. That's going to be awesome. We're going to be sitting on the stage there, watching some live wrestling.
Awesome.
Make sure you tune into that. It's going to be $12.99 on Fight TV to
see us.
Yes.
Savages and Kings.
See us marking out over being on a live show.
Can't wait, man. I'm excited to see some live wrestling. So
it's gonna be so awesome.
It is.
The Marks live and in person.
Yep, definitely is. All right, boys, let's get to square and circle questions before we wrap up. Get to the show here today. I believe Primo is our reigning defending champion.
Yep.
In a nutshell, 3 categories: wrestler, pay-per-view, and wrestling potpourri. Best 2 out of 3 is the champ. So
I'm like sad Baron Corbin right now.
Here we go, Primo.
Get to say your card. All right. The gentleman I am, I think I will not let AJ pick, and we're gonna go with wrestling pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view. All right, here we go. This is where I break down the match or break down the card, and you guys guess the name of the pay-per-view. You have to get name of the pay-per-view and year right, and your first answer is your answer. Here we go. All right, ready? This pay-per-view was presented by Milton Bradley. The Godwins and the New Age Outlaws beat the Headbangers and the New Blackjacks, which was the Acolytes.
Are you Googling right now, AJ?
No, I'm texting you guys.
The Truth Commission beat the Disciples of the Apocalypse. Team Canada beat Team USA. Kane beat Mankind. All right, boys, here's where it starts to get better listen up. Here we go. Stone Cold beat Owen Hart.
Well, we know when it's not after.
The main event, Shawn Michaels defeated Bret Hart.
Survivor Series 97.
Boom. Yep. Montreal Screwjob, boys.
Boom.
Completely
I
can
tell you weren't thinking that way at all.
No.
The wheels were turning right around Team Canada and Team USA.
All right. All right, Primo. If you can get this one, you can be a champion. You want wrestler or wrestling potpourri?
Let's go with the wrestler.
All right, wrestler. Here we go. Born November 24th, 1980. She is an American wrestler from Elmira, New York.
No one's from there.
She is billed at 5'7", 150 pounds. Billed from Buffalo, New York. She came up in Ohio Valley Wrestling, and she made her WWE debut in 2006. She broke her jaw in her WWE debut match. All right, here we go. Ready? This is where it gets tough. 2010, she was one of the first women to enter a men's Royal Rumble.
Beth
That
McLean
was
is
coming
on.
out of
Edge's wife.
that was coming out of my face. I demand a re-question.
All right, so Primo's going to stay the champion. Tiebreaker tonight was the time of the match of the Montreal Screwjob. You guys want to take a stab?
9:47.
No, it was more like, let's go with 23 minutes.
12 minutes, 19 seconds.
Jesus.
All right, for fun, just because I took time to do the questions. All right, first guess is the wrestling potpourri. All right, how many times did Triple H win the Intercontinental title?
0.
No, he did. Because he went up against Jeff Hardy and The Rock. So
2.
I'm gonna go with 3 times.
Reveal. 5.
5 times? Really?
Yeah. 5 times.
I know for sure he defended against Jeff Hardy, and he defended against The Rock as well in a ladder match.
All right.
I'm suspicious of these questions.
Stayed. What makes you suspicious of them?
The fact that I didn't get them.
That's a 2-time champ, double champ.
2-time champ. All right, let's get to our next
Champ.
the next thing. AJ, so you went to the Iron Spirit Pro show in Bloomington, Illinois last Friday. Main event was Brubaker versus our boy Big Beef. Please tell me Big Beef is the champion.
Wah, wah.
Oh no!
But
Tell me about it, man. How'd it go?
it was fantastic. We had such a good time. It was good. No, it was great. So there are a couple of things that I do want to talk about before talking about the main event. Obviously, I won't go through the whole card because it was, your typical indie show. But I will say that my new favorite heel wrestler in the world is Bucky Collins.
Yeah,
Bucky Collins is so entertaining that I could just watch him. I could wash him. That's
Wash him? Yeah.
I will grab a sponge and be like, "Hey, Bucky,
He's
get
great.
that spot." Okay,
He's great. I watched him wrestle up in LaSalle at
He's
Dreamwave.
fantastic.
He's so good, man. He's a
so
great.
in his match, the bottom rope broke, so he and Tyler Matrix had to do like a street brawling, so they were like brawling all throughout the crowd.
He wrestled
and stuff.
Tyler? He wrestled Tyler Matrix?
Yeah, Tyler Matrix. And so it was great. Like, he's Bucky being, great comedy heel with like his muscle pants on
He's
and stuff.
great, man. He's great.
He actually hit a blue thunder bomb, which was awesome. And he won his match with a crucifix pin, which is great. So there's that. And then Tyler Outlaw called me a bozo, which was fun. I know, but the the ring announcer, Trevor Outlaw, he's like, "It's Tyler, learn how to read."
Yeah. Good stuff.
So this is I said I had a surprise for you guys.
Yes, let's hear it.
So we got recognized.
Really?
So I had on this shirt right here. Sit
Okay.
down, Mark, going off the rails since 2021.
Right.
And
Amazing shirt, by the way.
I love this shirt so much. I've worn it like 8 times.
That's so cool.
I hear from so where I was standing, I saw a bunch of people that I knew there. So I was sitting with
Because you're a local legend.
Yeah, I am. Yes. And all of a sudden I hear this guy from over off to the side goes, "Sit down, Marks." And I turned and he goes, "I love you guys." And I was like, what? I know. was
You didn't
great.
know who he was?
No idea. Because like I was gonna try and like come and
got
try
That
to
is
thank
the
him and
best.
stuff.
We got
It was
banned.
so cool. I marked out to us so hard. Like after that, I was like standing like this, like all proud and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Like it was great. So
Oh,
we
that's
got
cool.
recognized. And
Nice.
Yeah, man, that is so cool.
I know, right?
I'm glad. Yeah, that is awesome.
That is
So
cool.
I mean, I get that it was just in Bloomington, but still, I thought it was very cool.
Well, yeah.
So whoever recognized us, and if you're listening right now, thank you.
Shout
very
out.
much.
Shout
That was-
out.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
I was actually thinking about this today when I was going over our analytics of the previous episodes and all our downloads. By the way, 7 weeks.
Yeah.
7 weeks consecutive. Episode 20 did the deed. It went over 100 downloads as well.
It is nice.
Did
Oh,
the deed.
I was afraid. I was actually
Choked
afraid
one
that
out.
too many people were gonna be not enjoy just hearing my voice. So
No, you did a great job. It was great.
Yeah.
so
that
I
was
was happy to see it also went over 100 into the teens actually.
Nice.
And I was gonna say I'm looking at our demographic maps. All you people in Texas from my home state, let me know who you are because I don't know. Hit me up at Primo Silver Fox on Twitter. And thank you all everywhere around the world for listening
so
to our
cool.
podcast.
It is pretty awesome.
Between
So,
we
like
got
a celebrity for a second.
people in the
I did,
U.S.
yes.
We got people in Belgium, Germany, Russia, the U.K., India, Australia. Like
Yeah.
it is amazing, and we are so thankful.
yes. Thank
If you ever
so
want to say hi
much.
to us, just tweet us out on Twitter at SitDownMarks.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we'll be at the AEW show this weekend. I don't know if we'll have sit down Mark shirts on stuff, but we're gonna be up on the stage. You know, if you recognize any of our voices, man, come by and say hello. We'd love to meet anybody there.
Yeah.
Also, want to say for Iron Spirit Pro, their next show is October the 8th. We're going to be in house. Dirty Bird and AJ is going to be there. We'll try to see if we can. Primo's we already talked about it. He's got stuff going on, but me and but Dirty Bird and AJ will be in house for the October 8th show. AJ, it looked like you might have did a run in there or something at the end. What happened there?
So I snuck up onto the ring, got into the ring, and I knocked over a bunch of Trevor Outlaw's shirts. I did. Knocked them
Knock
all
over the cardboard box.
Yeah. Oh my God, I forgot about the main event. Our boy Big Beef against Brubaker. So, and I did do a run, and it was great. So Brubaker, to start before the match started, he comes out and he cuts this like really genuine, heartfelt promo about how wrestling is his favorite thing in the world, and this is their first show back, and he's so thankful. And he's like, I just wish it wasn't in front of you idiots in Bloomington, Illinois. I hate you guys so much.
I know, and he's from here.
Yeah, he's from here. He's like, he's like, you're all ruining this for me. Like, could you please just go away?
Oh, that's great, man.
So it was great. Also, he made fun of a little league team that was there. They were like 9-10-year-olds.
Perfect.
That's cool.
So during the match, which Beef got the biggest pop of the night from,
Did he?
the crowd loved.
They do love Beef.
They loved him so much.
Thank God.
So at one point, Beef was holding Brubaker, and he dragged him over to the Little League kids, so the Little League kids could beat the crap out of Brubaker while Beef held him. And one of them hauled off and just gave him a solid shot to the face.
You stiffed him, huh?
He did. It was
Nice.
great. So then
He came for stiff.
Another spot where I don't think I've ever laughed so hard at anything in wrestling in my entire life. So I've been saving this for you guys too. So at one point there were like these two porta potties that were off to the side of the ring, and so they were there for the fans, obviously.
Porta potties? No,
No, they were actual porta potties. So it would have been better if they were gimmick, although this worked out perfectly. So they get out of the ring, and they're coming over the brawl with their crowd. At one point, Brubaker takes Beef over to the train that they have out there, and he's like, I'm going to jump off. No, I'm not. You guys are idiots. And then he got back down. And so they went over to the porta potties, and Beef throws Brubaker into one of these porta potties. Not into it, but hits it and then keeps pounding his head. So the porta potty's like shaking back and forth. like 10 seconds after that, this little kid comes out of the porta potty.
No way.
This little kid, he comes out of the porta potty just looking terrified. like I don't. His dad like comes sprinting over, and the kid is like. So now whenever this little kid goes to poop, he's gonna like get like a complex and feel like I can't poop. Beef is gonna come and get me because they attacked the porta potty with this little kid. Can you imagine this little kid trying to
quit going on?
Yeah, trying to do his business.
Every time he goes to a porta potty now, he's gonna walk around it looking for wrestlers.
It's so funny.
I lost it. I was laughing so just the little kid's face, like and his dad just like came sprinting over and was like, it's like, why were you there guarding the door in the first place? You terrible parent. What are you doing?
Said he had a good crowd, a couple hundred people.
Yeah. It was so like there were no like it was standing room only. Basically, and it was great. Like it was outside, and it was a nice night. It was wrestling, and it was fantastic. Loved every second of it. Got to hang out with Beef for a little bit, which I missed. I believe it was the tag match.
He tweeted that we bought him a Casey's gift card.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, you're welcome, buddy."
Well, I wanted to hang out at the bar with him afterwards, but I had to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to leave. So I was kind of mad about that, but I had to. But I got to hang out with him for a little bit, and he's an awesome guy. I love Beef. Like hanging out with him in person, fantastic.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man. Congratulations to him and Miranda. They just got engaged last week.
Yes, congratulations.
Yes,
Congrats.
congratulations.
Yes.
Beef. Now we can have little sirloins. Hey! All right, thank you.
Look at you with your meat-based puns and jokes.
So October 8th is the next show.
I'm sad that he didn't win, though. I was rooting. I and the entire crowd was rooting hard for him. And
I hope he gets the rematch and gets the babyface push. And October 8th, he can win the belt, and we'll be in house, and we can dogpile him in the ring. Yeah,
yes,
that'd be awesome.
We can.
All right, anything else from you, AJ?
The sit down marks are like his ultimate cheerleaders.
Yes, we are. He's awesome. He's so good.
Yeah, no, he's a friend of the show for sure. But like that's our gimmick. Like if we're ever at a show where he's at.
Yep.
All right. Yeah.
Just gonna gravitate towards him.
Yeah.
He's gonna get real sick of us. Like, oh, you nerds again. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Beef.
All right, AJ. Next week, man. What's on the show? What are we talking about?
Next week, I don't know why I clapped like that. That was completely unnecessary.
Ready to break.
Hey, Jay.
We have a guest next week,
Jay,
don't we? We have your buddy Adam Warwick coming on.
Adam Warwick.
He'll be at the SCI tournament, so we're going to talk to him about that.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that quite a bit. We have our usual recaps about SmackDown, maybe Raw, who knows. NXT, AEW, all the indies, all the good stuff, and there will be many good stuffs. That's grammatically incorrect. Also, our Dropkick discussion, favorite wrestlers in the world next week. And we better be doing a top 5 instead of a top 3 because top 3 doesn't work.
You want to change the top 5? You want to change the top 5?
I want to.
Best wrestlers in the world? Sure.
Right now, right?
5 right now.
Active wrestlers.
Yeah, top 5 active wrestlers in the world in any promotion, anywhere. If they wear tights, they're considered a wrestler. So I'm not
gladiator kilts.
Not gladiator kilts. What about gym shorts? What about jorts?
Jorts.
Certainly not jorts. Athletic shorts and a t-shirt, maybe.
But not shorts.
So looking forward to having Adam on the show next week. He's going to talk about the SCI show. We're going to talk about our weekend at AAW Savages and Kings.
Yes, it's going to be great.
Wrestling going on next week. And like I said, you would talk about our favorite wrestlers. So, yeah, going to be another fun one next week here. I want to close the show by thanking our sponsors. is today we are officially, like we said, we have Mark's merch.
Yeah.
Go check out tpublic.com/users/sit down marks, just like the show. And we also have brand new merch and also brand new stickers for free. All you got to do is message us on Facebook or Twitter, and we'll get those out to you. Want to thank everybody for downloading the show here today. We had a really fun one. It was glad to be back with you, Marks. Get to really be with you guys this weekend as we're going to all be under the same roof.
That's right.
And, it's going to be a fun weekend of watching wrestling and looking forward to it. And Primo, tell us, where can we get the Sit Down Marks podcast? Talk to them.
Let me talk to you.
Whose game is it? It's Primo.
Primo's game, baby. Obviously, Marks, you can see us on Twitch. But if you want to hear us in your hearts, you listen to us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Amazon Prime Music, and Audible. But we cannot forget every Friday night, SportnariumRadio.com. That's Sportnarium Online Radio after the Thomas Bryce Show at 7:15, roughly Eastern Standard Time. And throughout the week, we can be replayed as well.
That's right. We're doing more. They're doing more live shows. We're going to be doing something here in the next month or so where one of us from our show is going to be on a panel with other people from other shows. We're going to talk a lot of wrestling, and I think the show is going to be done live on SportnariumRadio.com.
It'll be super cool.
Yeah,
super
that's
cool.
That's going to be great.
Really cool.
Some collabs with the other shows on Sportnarium Network.
Yep, going to be awesome, man. Looking forward to that. So, once again, man, I want to thank everybody for downloading and subscribing the show here. I want to thank everybody for all the support, man. We appreciate it. Like I said, 7 weeks in a row of 100+ downloads. We're super happy. I'm super pumped to see you guys in person this weekend, man.
Absolutely.
I'm ready to go. I can't wait to stand there with my butler's outfit picking you up from the airport.
You're acknowledging your champion.
Yes. I'm going to make a sign that says, like, sorry about the crabs or something like that.
Congrats on getting released from prison.
Right. Acknowledging your prison release.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is the show for today. We're going to come back here next week with our post SCI tournament show and our AEW coverage, as well as the world of professional wrestling. So we have reached that beautiful time in the day as the time in the show where AJ puts all the beautiful ladies to sleep with those beautiful final 3 words that all the young ladies and wrestling marks across the world long to hear. And here we go. If you're ready, let me count you down. In 3, 2, 1.
Grab them cakes!